Down green, mate. Sweet. Thank you.
So Smokey is racing, and he didn't confirm.
He did confirm.
Oh.
He did.
He takes so fucking long with it, man.
He does my heading. He is one of the biggest cunts to do my heading on it. Right, so Tibbs declined, didn't he? Yeah.
I doubt we'll see him.
And declined several times. Gary said he might miss race 1 as well.
And PROAM is here for race 2, isn't he?
Yeah. Gary's going to keep you updated. So sounds like something at home, that. What?
Image. Add image. Add image. Source. Pictures. Laguna Seca. Open. Done.
Say Matt's usual trick. This car's shit. Don't know what I'm doing. Car's shit. Oh look, I'm second. Car is shit, mate. You got Beth? I mean, yeah, fine. I'll just transfer the tenner each month if that's the case. Wow. Keep getting the fucking turning wrong for corners of the bastard game.
Allow your defense to make a stop. Jeff, that's when you have to work out as a coach when to play with patience, when to be really aggressive. It was 4 from 4 on their own 23. We had a similar situation a few years ago with Mike McCarthy did one of these fake punts in his own end on Thanksgiving Day. Got absolutely killed it. What did you think?
Matt?
Yes.
Did you post, don't matter.
Grid order.
No.
Tables.
Tables.
Yeah, tables were posted.
Right, where's standings? Save image.
Fucking
Just
mad,
pictures.
You got two romping away fighting for the top spot,
showing them on stream.
and then
Yep.
everyone else.
I'm trying different things.
Yeah, I was thinking of getting some bits sorted where we can bring bits up for the next seasons. In terms of in that little bit of free practice, showing the standings.
Well, it's just easier for me to just read off this.
Yeah.
And people can see.
Spreadsheet.
Yeah, they can see what's actually. So I can just change the images every time.
Yeah.
Or where's the?
I'm going to work on something next season. So, like, do you remember where we had on Project Cars 2, where we had the cars come up on screen?
Yeah.
With the standings, I'm going to try and work on something on that in the off season. But even if I just got like see if I can find some drop down images of the ACC cars, but in black or white or something. See, they've got no decals on, but unless I can learn how to cut around the cars on Photoshop.
Easy.
Yeah, I know the tool I need to use, but every time I do it, I either chop bits of the car off or chop fucking.
Use the magnetic lasso tool.
That's what I do, but the magnetic one doesn't pick up stuff at times. I'll have a play. Like I say, there's things I know I want to do next season.
When I get a chance, I'll have a go as well.
The other story of this game is that the pressure on Jared Goff has been constant from the Packers. They just haven't been able to match up, and this is one of the best offensive lines in the entire league, KB, especially in pass pro. And we said the one area of Green Bay that they are healthy and intact, it's along that defensive front. So they knew they had to shoulder the load today with all the moving pieces behind them, and they've shown up. And two pressures, 22 fumbles and forcing a defensive touchdown. And Jonathan Owens returns for a score. Now the Lions down 15, working to the right over the middle to the sides. But he brings on himself a first down, and he's up to the 41. With Devontae Wyatt just walking off the field. He's going to be evaluated for a concussion. A big part of that defensive line who played so well today. So it makes their rotation a little bit smaller for
I'll meet you in the other party after that, man.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'll just go get some laps and I'll be there.
See you later, boys.
See you later.
Catch you later. I'm off as well.
Alright, PN?
Yeah, I'm off as well.
No, just catch you later.
Later.
Bye.
Right. Good luck,
You know
Overtaker.
his Fury's
Matt.
coming.
Cheers, Dan.
He said said he was driving, wasn't he?
Yeah, he said he is, yeah.
He's playing COD a lot, so you probably won't know if he will turn up or not. So,
Or he'll turn up at like last minute.
yeah, all that. Right. Good luck, boys.
Yeah, have a good one, Dan, mate.
No, how the fuck do I get out of this fucking party? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport. My name is Dan Davis. I'm bringing you the action here once again in the pro category here at we're at the land of the free, and the home of the brave. We are here in America for the 7th round of the season. We are here at the Mercedes at Laguna Seca. Not Mercedes, I think it was a Mazda or WeatherTech Laguna Seca circuit, the home of good old Tibbs. And also, while we're on the subject of America and Tibbs and all of those guys, first things first, happy Thanksgiving to all the All-Americans, and that's probably why we are not going to be seeing Tibbs this evening, due to the fact that he'll be celebrating Thanksgiving. But we are live here at Simplay Motorsport, and at the minute we've got 8 drivers, but hopefully we should have some more guys turn up later on in the practice stage. We're still waiting for Gary, possibly we're turning up. Fury, Emplava says he can make race 2, so a lot of guys still yet to get into the session. We're still waiting on Paulo as well, but nonetheless, I'll be bringing you all the action here at Laguna Seca, like I said, the 7th round, round 13 and 14 of the season on the PS4 version. As you can see, a lot of people wanting the PS5 version, and it's got very popular over the weekend, so make sure you tune in on Sunday to see that one. But we are here at the beautiful Laguna Seca, and what a circuit it is indeed. And if I try and do my fancy magic, as Nexus now comes up towards the corkscrew, here is a track map of the circuit, and it consists of 11 corners and some iconic corners at that as well. We got the likes of Andretti hairpin, we've got obviously the world's famous corkscrew, we've got the Rainy curve as well, Rainy curve, whatever you want to pronounce it. But this is the Laguna Seca circuit. That's at 11 circuits and a lot of interesting corners here as well. A lot of these names are based off the IndyCar drivers as well. Obviously Andretti being Mario Andretti and the entire Andretti family. No one currently out on track. Most of the guys are sitting in the pits at the minute, and it looks like Nexus is about to return to the pits. As we got Paulo now coming into the session, so no one currently out on track, and it is Overtaker who is the fastest at the minute. So that is a rough look of the circuit. A couple information as well. Like I said, the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, located in California, and it is an FIA Grade 2 circuit. So obviously, due to the fact that there's no pits and there's no pit garages, obviously in IndyCar and in NASCAR they wouldn't need pit garages, they just jump over the wall. So there's none of that. Also constructed is 1.5 million US dollars. And like I said, this circuit is very famous and iconic for races like the IndyCar Series come here. We got the IMSA Sports Car Championship as well. We've also Moto America come here as well. So many iconic race events here. The FIA GT Championship used to come here, and many other GT World Challenge America. So many iconic events happened here. It has been around for a while now. First opened on the 9th of November 1957, so it's 66 years old, this circuit now, and it's been around for a long time. The racetrack is actually 2.2 miles long, and if you're wanting in kilometers, it's 3.6 kilometers long, with a elevation change of 180 foot, or in meters 55 feet. 11 turns, like I says, and the highlight of most of this track is obviously the famous corkscrew. And obviously from turn 8 to turn 8A, as they call it, so the top of the corkscrew to the bottom of the corkscrew, it has a massive elevation change from top to bottom. The name Laguna Seca is Spanish for a dry lagoon as well, as it's built on a dried up lake bed. So there's an interesting fact for you about this circuit. And overall, it's just a very challenging circuit. To others, it's probably one of their favorites. I know this is Peaceful Explosion's favorite. He definitely likes this circuit, and he's always one that wants to come racing here. So here we are. A lot of people in the past have had good success here. Myself is one of them. I've had 4 wins now to my name around this over 2 pole positions. Ripper's had 2 wins. Who else on this list? Fury's been quite successful. He's had 2 wins and a pole position. Who else we look at? Smoky Devils had a win. Overtakers had a win and a pole position. And I think Emplava also has also had a pole position and a win. So iconic for most drivers as well. As we will get rid of the track map. There we go. So yeah. Also, a couple of milestones to keep an eye on. Fury, if he turns up this evening, he is 1 win away from his 50th. With Sutty Apex only... Sutty won't be in here. Sorry, ignore that. Overtaker is 1 away from his 25th. So both the Teletubby Motorsport boys are only 1 win away from their milestones, so that's interesting to know. And Fury's also only 2 pole positions away from his 25th. Obviously, if he does turn up tonight, he'll only get 1 pole position, but he'll get him that bit closer for when he goes to a GT Force. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat from Peaceful Stepdad, and hello Peaceful Explosion, and PM Motorsport as well. So let's hear you guys in the chat. Speaking of Peaceful, let's go on board with him as he takes us around this iconic circuit. Like I said, one of his all-time favourites around here, and yeah, let's see if he can handle the pressure in his Honda. Okay, so we're going to try something else as well tonight. We're going to try something I've been setting up and trying to hopefully it'll work, but I don't know how well this will work. So as Mike comes through the corkscrew, we will have this slideshow of the championship standings just to your right hand side. So those are the championship standings. As you can see, Ripper at the top of the table at the minute. He's got quite a healthy gap over Ripper, and this is just going to slideshow its way through while I obviously read through the championship standings. Ripper leads the way with Overtaker sitting in 2nd place with Peaceful Explosion, and now in the 3rd place position. Fury's in 4th with Jay sitting in 5th place position. Exit Tips sitting in 6th with Gary131 sitting in 7th. Then we got Tech Leader sitting in 8th place position. Matahimovic down to 9th, and 10th is Nexus. 11th is Euro with Louis Allen in 12th. 13th is Smoky Devil. Paulos is in 14th place position. Wolfinator in 15th, and then Plava in 16th place position. Teletubby Motorsport still leading away with Killer Performance in 2nd, Flying Potatoes in 3rd, and Jaguar sitting in Jaeger Motorsport sitting in 4th. We got Titan Euro in 5th, with 6th place being the way of Simplay Racing. P7 is Hot Wheels Racing, and JW Esports Racing are bringing up the rear. Regarding the manufacturers, Bentley is still leading the way with Audi in 2nd, and Ferrari just clinging on to the championship at the minute, but I feel like he's going to lose that very, very shortly. In the rest of the positions, it's Honda from McLaren, from Porsche, from Lexus, from Aston Martin, Jaguar, BMW, Mercedes, Lamborghini, Nissan, and Retia. Those are your championship standings, and hopefully my little slideshow has worked an absolute treat here this evening. Guys who are currently out of the championship, Paulo is now out of the championship. He can no longer win this championship, nor can Green Wolf and Ed, Emplava, Shane, Bemba, Breeze, and T. Smoky Devil and Louis Allen are still mathematically in it, but with no Louis Allen tonight, he'll be knocked out, and Smoky Devil is still only 2 points in it, so he really unlikely to stay in the championship. Meanwhile, all the teams are still up for the championship as well, and that is a rundown of your current standings. So, like I said, hopefully that's worked a lovely treat as we look at Euro now to complete his practice session, and at the minute Peaceful Explosion has got within under a second of Overtaker. Overtaker though is leading the way at the minute. Ripper still yet to set a lap time, and he's currently on track at the minute. So Peaceful in 2nd, Tech Leader is in 3rd with Matimovic crossing the line. No improvement, stays P4. Nexus is 5th with Smoky Devil exiting the pit lane, and Euro in 7th. Paulo is in 8th, and Ripper is gone back to the pits and still not set a lap time. As like I said, we will go on board with Peaceful Explosion to take us a lap around this fantastic circuit here at Lagoon. Oh, I say that, he's gone off. So that's really helped me out. Who's that at the top half of the circuit? That, I think, might be Euro. Yes, it is. We've just been stuck on Euro for a bit, so let's go back on board with Euro as he takes us for a lap around Laguna Seca. Oh, not what I wanted. I wanted a picture of the track. So as he exits turn 11, he will go down the main straight. As he heads up towards the top of the start-finish straight, he will go through turn 1, which this is technically turn 1, but we don't really see it as a corner, as we then head down towards turn 2, which is known as Andretti hairpin. Double apex hairpin. You want to make sure you hit the apex on both sides and try and get a good exit as you then head towards turn 3. Again, tricky corner. You think you can take more speed into it as it tightens on exit as you then go underneath the bridge and head towards turn 4. Again, another corner you could take a lot of speed into, but kind of misjudge how much speed you need to take. A little short burst heading up towards turn 5. A slightly banked left-hander, so you could take a lot of speed into it and carry it all the way out. And then heading up towards turn 6 as then they head down the straight as well. At turn 6, if you hit that curve, it can send you shooting off into the barriers on the outside. As you then head up to the famous corkscrew, heading through turn 7, now into turn 8, now into turn 8A, which is this corner here, and then leads you all the way down to turn 9. That whole section, you're dropping 180 feet. And then heading towards the final sector into turn 10. Once you then negotiate turn 10, go a little bit wide there, you then head into turn 11, and if you nail turn 11 and get a good exit through here, you should be able to set yourself up for another good lap, as Euro has taken us a lovely lap around Laguna Seca, and that is a guided tour around this circuit. So thank you, Euro, for that one. He probably hasn't got a clue that he's just been on a lap with me, so we'll leave him to it. Nice to see Nexus in the chat. Come on, guys, let's see you and he in the chat. Yes, there's only 10 cars here tonight, but we still got some good chance of some good racing here this evening. But it is this man who's still leading the way in the championship. Ripper in the Audi, and I think the Audi would be quite a strong car here this evening. I think anything that's small and agile, very good in corners, I think is going to be the car to be in. So we're looking at the Ferrari, the Audi, I think the possibly the Honda as well could be a good solid car around here. The Bentley I think might struggle, as will the Jaguar, but obviously Overtake has already proven me wrong on this one. But I think as well it's more a small agile circuit, and speed is not necessarily everything. You haven't got any long straights, and if you do have long straights, they've got a kink and a turn in it, so I do genuinely think the small little agile cars will be the beneficials around here. So let's hear you guys in the chat. I will get a poll going for you guys, as I will read you through the format this evening. Obviously, we've had the GT4s already this week. They've been streamed, and what a fantastic night racing with myself and Fury going at it for pride. And obviously, both myself and Tibbs taking a 1-2 in the Chevy in race 1, which was nice to see the Chevy get a win at its home circuit, and with a 1-2 at that. So, reminder of the format. These guys are currently running through their practice session. They've obviously had about an hour's worth of practice session. Obviously, the server's also been live for most of the week for all the guys to practice, not just Pro, but Pro-Am, Pro-Am, and also the GT4s as well. Ripper goes into P6, but probably just getting himself psyched up and ready to go. Tonight's format, the only ones that don't follow this format are the AMs, but tonight's format is a reverse grid for race 1 based on the championship standings. I will read the order in a short moment time, but it will be a reverse grid for only 20 minutes, a short sprint race with 1 pit stop required from everyone, a tyre change as well, and they have to pit within the 20 minutes. The whole session will be available to them, as soon as they go green, the pit lane will be open. Then we'll go into a short break. These guys will have a short 20-minute practice session if they want to make some tweaks or changes to their car, and then we'll be back live for the qualifying session, and obviously speaking to the podium people if they were wanting to speak to us. They'll then go for pole, and whoever does take pole position will gain that extra championship point. And then heading into the feature race, where it is a 45-minute sprint, and about halfway through the race the pit window open for 20 minutes, and in that window again they must change a set of tyres and come back out on track, and a pit stop is required in both races. And that is your format for tonight's race. Like I said, round 7 of the season. Next week we will be heading to, as Ripper goes P2, next week we'll be heading to the land of the rising sun. We'll be heading to Japan for Suzuka for the next round of the season. Then we'll be heading to, a reminder as well, Suzuka will be an evening race, while we then head to Germany and go into the iconic Nürburgring for our one and only night race, which from what we've heard from the weather forecast and seen, it is very, very cold in Germany. So we're looking for snow, but ACC doesn't allow snow. So we'll see what we could do with the weather on that night. And we finish things off at Misano as the final race of the season for the GT4s, the AM, the Pro-Am, and the Pro as well. Regarding the PlayStation 5 League, that'll still be running. They'll be heading to Imola this weekend, as they've got 2 Italian circuits, one already done with Monza done and out the way. Then they've got to race at Imola, and then I believe it will be, it's Snetterton, Donington Park and Silverstone are the last few races of the season. Nice DPN in the chat. The Bentley was fine around here. Does an odd phase with the tyres, but it's okay, and it's going to be a cold one. It is indeed. So I will get the reverse grid order up. And the reverse order will look like this. It'll be Paulo who's starting on pole position with Smoky Devil in second. Euro will start third with Nexus in fourth. Fifth will be Matimovic. Sixth will be a Tech Leader. Seventh will be Gary 131. Eighth should be Fury if he gets in. Ninth will be Peaceful Explosion. 10th will be Overtaker, and Ripper bringing up the rear. Donington, Snetterton and Silverstone. There you go. PN there to assessed me in the chat there, as Ripper has now gone fastest of them all, but only by a 10th and a half. So still very close between himself and Overtaker. So that is your reverse grid order. And we will as Tech Leader has had a moment in turn 4. He's just got to try and get it going again, and just allows Nexus to go through. We'll go on board with Smoky Devil. Peaceful Stepdad, love this track. See, for me, it's not one of my... I wouldn't like this circuit. For me, this circuit is... I like the corkscrew, but that's about it. That's really all I like about this track. As I'll put Overtaker as well in the poll. So there is your poll for race 1. Who do you think is going to win race 1? So get yourselves involved in the poll, and they're gonna be cold to and wet. Lovely wet, cold British circuits. What more can you want? Hey. So these guys still got 7 minutes left to go. While I'm at it, and we are at this quiet stage of the session, make sure you head over and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well, and hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here at Simplay Motorsport. Like I said, make sure you tune in on Sunday night, as they'll be heading to Imola for the PS5 League, see all the fancy new cars and see how everyone gets on when we have proper cameras and everything running correctly. Luckily we did manage to get our servers working again, but no camera fix at this stage. Also, if you want to scroll down and head into the description below, you can head over to our Facebook page and like and subscribe to our Facebook. We also have an Instagram account as well, so go and follow them also. Join us on Discord. There's the Discord link as well, so you get involved in all the action and talk with all the guys in the Discord chat. And also head over to our Twitter page as well. If you do want to sign up to the Pro-Am or Am category on the PS4 League, then also sign up onto SimGrid, where all of your information will be there for you to choose, and sign up to what you like to race. Also the PS5 League as well. So do all those wonderful things. And also, while you're there, have a look at our fantastic sponsors. Design Manchester, producers of vinyl, graphics and laser engraved gifts and mugs and printed clothing and much, much more, including Simplay merchandise. So head over to their Facebook link, and also Peaceful has got himself some gifts and some Christmas sets ready for the coming season. And also, while you're at it, head over to Audiosport, a manufacturer of VW Transporter T4 audio solutions and styling products for your T4 and T5, and also selling audio parts as well. Head over to www.audiosport.co.uk/. Also have a look at their Facebook page as well. Go onto there, and also they have a YouTube channel as well. Also, I don't know if it's available, and the guys could drop it in YouTube or wherever they like. Oh, Smokey, very fast in the pits. That would give him a penalty if he does that in a race. Most of these guys will be streaming. I know for a fact that Nexus is currently streaming on his Twitch account, as is Matt Imovich as well. So I believe they have all their links set up, so you're able to see them from their perspective and see how they get on in the race. I believe also Peaceful Explosion is streaming on YouTube, so you can have a look at him on YouTube as well. So do all those wonderful things. Support the drivers, support the community, and support the channel, as Gary has a big moment coming down the turn 10, heading towards turn 11. And breathe. Now we got all of that done and out of the way. A tricky pit lane and a tricky pit exit. Hopefully one of these guys will be doing me a massive favour and will exit the pit lane. Who is likely to do so? That is the question. I believe Gary131 will be one to do so. So Matt, obviously been away for a couple of races, now has a lot of work to do to try and catch up with the guys in front of him. They've scored some decent points. He's now dropped down to, I believe, 9th in the championship. Yeah, he has dropped down to 9th, so he wants to try and claw himself back up so he doesn't get into the relegation zone, which I don't believe he will be. So quickly, actually, Overtaker, as he exits pit lane, they are allowed to cross that first white line, but they are not allowed to go all over the green sector. And obviously, as they come to the two striped lines, they're not allowed to cross over the far white line. They can cross over on the first inside line, but not the far one. So the guys there making sure they nail their pit exits as well. Pit entry is very, very clear as well, as Gary's had a moment on pit exit. And as long as they don't go onto the circuit like that, they should be fine. There's a yellow flag in the corkscrew. That is Peaceful, as he's had a moment through the corkscrew. A very tricky corner to get right. And it does take a little bit of practice to get it right. As we'll go on board with Paulo as he heads up towards the corkscrew, braking at that curb and trying to straight line it as best they possibly can. But those curves are very tricky to get right, very lethal and very unpredictable for certain cars. So guys, get your votes in on who you think is going to win the first race tonight. At the minute we've got 3 votes, and 2 have gone the way of Ripper, 1 going the way of Overtaker. As now Paulo heads over to the start finish line, and he does not improve. Slowest at the minute, as Smoky Devil now comes out on track. And Overtaker and Ripple once again only separated by a couple of tenths. It's going to be very tricky to overtake here as well. Not a lot of room to overtake on this circuit. As Les Fernie in the chat saying good luck to Smoky Devil. Best of luck to him. And hopefully he can use the reverse grid to his advantage. As you see there, Matt is coming to one side and coming to a stop. Tech Leaders looks like he's had a moment and is off in the final corner. And Gary wants to run down. He's also had a moment as well, so he's gone off. And Overtaker currently on a lap time. Will this improve his position? That's the question as he heads now towards turn 11. Making sure he gets a good exit, heading towards the start-finish line. And any improvement for Overtaker? No, not this time. And at the minute, we've only got a couple of cars on track. We have the 43 of Smoky Devil. How's your fingernails after the GT4s? They're pretty good. They're not too bad. It was more trying to get past Fury once he had me towards the end of the session. But no, it was a good night's worth of racing between myself and Fury. Really enjoyed it, and hopefully more action next week when we go to Suzuka. So Peaceful has validated his lap time, but he's going to complete this lap. Smoky Devil is on his final lap for this session. So like I said, guys, if you haven't done so, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss a single thing here at Simplay Motorsport. Smoky Devil will be coming to the end of his session as we got the Flying Potatoes racing. Go on, Tech Leader. Nice to see the boys supporting one another. We have got another vote for Paulo in the prediction for race 1. I know we apologise each week, but like I said, it's a bit of a shame that these cameras are stuck like this, but it is a stream, it is running an event, so we still be able to give you all the action here for the PS4 guys. Smoky Devil crosses the line now, and I'm not sure if he even improved. Let's have a look, see if he improved. No, he stays P6. So P6 for Smoky Devil. So there was your practice session. It was Ripper fastest from Overtaker, Matimovic in third, Peaceful fourth, fifth was Tech Leader, Smoky Devil was in sixth, Nexus was seventh, eighth was Euro, ninth was Gary 131, and Paulo bringing up the rear in 10th place position. That's it, guys. Spam that heart button. Spam it. I want to see those hearts flying through the screen. Are we excited for the first race of the evening? Only 10 cars, sadly, but hopefully we will be able to fill the grid up next season where we head over to PS5. And like I said, we should see some brand new cars, some brand new faces, maybe some returning faces as well. Who knows? But either way, we will be excited to start a PS5 season in the new year. But nonetheless, this is what we got to deal with. This is the PS4 League, and this is the Pro. And we are at California for the Laguna Seca round here in America, the home of Exeter Tibbs and the home of the Camaro. No American circuit cars on the grid at all, other than the Chevy that was there earlier on in the week. So, a quick reminder for these guys is the reverse grid. So all these guys will be getting themselves in the correct order. There's only 10 cars, there's no Fury, so grid order will look like this. It will be Paulo, who will be starting on pole position. Then it should be Smoky Devil in the BMW. Euro will then be starting in third place position. In fourth then should be the Jaguar of Nexus, with a fifth going the way of Matimovic. Sixth will be Tech Leader. And seventh will be Gary 131. Eighth will be Peaceful Explosion. Ninth will be Overtaker. And on the rear will be your championship leader, Ripper. So that is your reverse grid order. And what can Ripper do from the back of the pack? A reminder, these guys will be told that the pit window will open straight away. I've got 6 more votes coming in, 1 for Paulo, 1 for Smoky Devil. So Ripper and Paulo even on votes right now. as all these guys have got 20 seconds to get their cars all set up, but it will be Paulo who is on pole position.
10 seconds.
Reminder guys, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel as well, do all those wonderful things as we are live here for the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca round 7 of the season. So, another quick reminder, so all the guys on the grid and also for everyone at home to know, it is Paulo who starts on pole position, then it is Smoky Devil starting in second, Euro will then start in third, fourth will then go the way of Nexus, and fifth going the way of Matahimovic, sixth will go the way of Tech Leader, seventh will be Gary 131. 8th will be a Peaceful Explosion. 9th will be Overtaker. And once again, at the back of the pack is Ripper. What can all these guys do from these positions, especially a Ripper? We will go right in the middle. 5th place man, Matahimovic, who will be starting the race for us this evening. So guys, let's hear your support for the drivers. Let's see you in the chat. Spam that heart button, spam every little button. Let's get this session off to a good start. Yes, we've only got 10 cars, but it's going to be 10 cars bringing fantastic action here at Laguna Seca. And we'll see if Overtaker and Ripper can clear the traffic relatively quickly, as Matt's still trying to get some temperature in his rear tyres. Overdoing it ever so slightly there, making me feel a little bit sick, and probably everybody else as well. So the poll currently out is, who do you think is going to win this one? Is it going to be Paulo or Smoky Devil starting on the front row? Or in tradition, will it be Overtaker and Ripper from the back of the pack working their way to the front? Or will it be someone completely else? If you think it's going to be someone else, then please write in the chat who you think is going to win this race. But we will stay on board with Matimovic in the 55 Bentley. 55, the number Carlos Sainz runs in Formula 1. Obviously, it's the number for Matimovic here at Simplay Motorsport, and also, I believe, De Silva as well, run the 55, as they will now back the pack up as they head into turn 11, the final corner, and we will get tonight underway. McLaren versus BMW, Germany versus Britain, once again on the front row. Who's going to be the one to come on top? Ripper and Overtaker at the back as well, another British versus Germany, as the race is now initialized. And we are green here. Pit stop obviously opened straight away, and Smokey got a very decent start, and that's going to allow Paulo to stay on the inside as Matt and Tech Leader make a little bit of door rubbing as Gary's going around the outside. But relatively keen as Paulo and Smokey come together, and there's all sorts of carnage. Paulo's been caught up in it. Ripper has managed to clear everyone, and it's now Peaceful Explosion who leads here at Laguna Seca. Gary's trying to get past Nexus there, or was it Tech Leader trying to go down the inside of Nexus? The Smoky Devil's gone wide, and that's going to allow Ripper to go around the outside. Overtaker, meanwhile, is right at the back of the pack. He's obviously got caught up of everything, and Smokey's going to try and hold his line on the inside as Ripper goes around the outside, and no problem for him. He clears Smoky Devil, but it's Peaceful Explosion in the Honda leading the way as Ripper's now, so Smokey's hit the curb, off he goes, and everyone else will go flying past him. Gary 131 up into 7th, Overtaker up to 8th as Euro and Paulo ended up at the back of the pack after tripping over one another. Already chaos here as Tech Leader's had a moment now, and Gary's tripped over him. Nexus will get past him as well. But it's now Peaceful leading the way from Ripper, from Matahimovic, from Tech Leader's still trying to get himself going at the minute, and he's got himself back on track. So it's now Gary 131 in 4th, sorry, with Nexus in 5th. 6th will be Smoky Devil. He's missed his brakes and gone very wide as Overtaker has gone straight into the pits. The first one to pit, and Euro and Paulo, the other ones to carry on through. But everyone else still on track, bar Overtaker and Tech Leader, who have both come into the pits. Peaceful Exposure got a lot of work to do now. He's got the championship leader Ripper hunting him down. Can he keep him behind him for 18 minutes? That's the question. But meanwhile, Matt is trying to come back at Ripper. Gary's trying to hold his own in 4th, ahead of Nexus. Smokey in 6th. Euro will be in 7th. Paulo still trying to stick with him, while the other two are still in the pits at the minute. A bit of a dramatic lap 1 here. As Les Fernie says in the chat, good luck to everybody. And it's an interesting start at the minute. And Matt runs a little bit wide through that left-hander as they then head up towards the corkscrew. As Ripper is just biding his time, waiting for the prime opportunity to attack. Overtaker's already gone green and off he goes. Tech leader has finally gone green. As the gaps are all relatively even out. And it's now Ripper looking to hunt down the Honda of Peaceful Explosion, and he opts to pit. So Peaceful, if I was to be watching or listening to this, I would be reacting straight away and be able to come in and protect that position. Gary 131 also into the pits, while the rest of the pack chooses to carry on through. Now, Gary is going to come into the pits. Is he going to get blocked or held up by the Alpine? Absolutely not, as they come to a stop. So Smokey now up into P4, trying to hunt down Nexus, while Peaceful and Matimovic still lead the way with quite a healthy gap now. Back to Nexus in the Jaguar. And he runs a little bit wide there, Nexus. Oh, he grabs it together. That's going to give Smokey an invitation there to try and come back at him in the BMW, and he gets a great run through turn 4 as he now heads towards turn 5. He's going to send it down the inside of the Jaguar. Nexus is going to try and hold in strong, but Smokey makes a slight contact there, and Nexus holding it on just for the minute as they then head up towards turn 6, the fast left kink. And Smokey gets on the curb and it gives him a poor exit there. Ripper has gone green. Where is Overtaker? He's only now coming down the back straight. And Ripper now exiting the pit lane. And Overtaker really can't do anything about Ripper's pit stop there. He's jumped in quite easily there. Peaceful Explosion. Now, what does he do? He reacts to Ripper's pit stop, as will Matt as well. So they both come into the pits. While Nexus and Smoky Devil, what do they opt to do? They choose to stay out. Bar Smoky Devil, he decides to pit. He struggled with the pit lane. He's got to stop this time as he comes into the pit lane. And Paulo and Euro not having the best start to this race, as they're now just struggling at the back of the pack. So after the pit stops, Ripper still leads, ahead of Overtaker with Gary 131 and Tech leader in that 4th position of the ones who have pitted. Now, Peaceful has stopped and Ripper is now at the corkscrew. So, has he had a very good outlap? Oh, he's bounced over the corkscrew a little bit there, took a little bit too much out of that. Well, Overtaker was a little bit more consistent over that. Peaceful having no damage from the start of that race, and he's gone green, so this should be close between him and Ripper. If he's had a decent in-lap, hopefully Ripper has had a pretty half-decent outlap. So Peaceful's off the limiter now, but he will be on the shorter line going into turn 1. Ripper's going around the outside. Peaceful will have the inside. He doesn't want to overshoot. He gets it stopped. And they go through turn 1, and Ripper has not jumped Peaceful, and Peaceful's reactive, but Ripper's going straight on the attack with warm tyres, warm brakes, and they make contact, and Ripper gets through. He needed to do that straight away, because if he got stuck behind Peaceful, he would have been held up for a while. Matimovic stays ahead of Overtaker, but Peaceful has been jumped by the Audi driver, and he falls behind Ripper. So, Ripper now, how fast can he disappear into the distance? That is the question. As Peaceful's gone wide, that's not going to help his cause there. Made a mistake, and that's going to invite Matimovic coming closer. Overtaker's not a million miles away either, as Paulo's coming to the pits now. So Ripper now disappearing into the distance, as Peaceful has now got Matimovic to worry about in the Bentley. And Overtaker is catching on the pair of them. The couple of laps that he had in clean air has helped him jump most of the pack. But now he's stuck behind the fellow Bentley driver and the Honda driver of Peaceful Explosion. And Matt looks like he had a decent exit. but hasn't quite got the straight line of the Honda. The Honda quite fast in the straight line, but Peaceful's gone very deep into turn 1, missed his brakes by a country mile. Matt gets a little bit closer, does Overtaker, and it's all bottling up now as Paulo's gone green, as Smoky Devil and Tech Leader go through, and he resumes back to his position at the back. Oh, Peaceful is going to have an absolute nightmare. He's got a massive wall of Bentleys behind him as Matt is going to be looking to try and make a move on Peaceful Explosion as they head up towards turn 5. Peaceful's at a moment in Honda. He's having a twitch. He's having a few corrections there as he heads up towards turn 6. Avoid that curb because it is lethal, and the rear end of that Honda does not seem happy. And is Matt going to be brave enough to try and send it into the corkscrew? Be a bold place to do it. And Peaceful's gone deep and gone wide. He's suffering under the pressure here of the Bentley drivers. Overtaker is probably right behind the pair of them. Matt's going to send it down the inside. You see him on and off the brakes, and Overtaker's got nowhere to go while his championship rival is disappearing into the distance. Matt's on the gravel. Peaceful defends the inside, and Overtaker just goes around the outside of the pair of them into the final corner. He might get one, but he's gone off track. Overtaker and Matt going side by side as they head towards turn 1. Peaceful survives for now, but Matt is the one who loses out there. Is he going to try and send it on Overtaker? Overtaker later on the brakes, he goes deep, and Matt's going to have the tighter line into turn 1, or turn 2, I'm afraid. I forgot to say. As they head towards turn 3 now, Overtaker looks like he's got that job done, but he's had a poor exit, a very poor exit. Matt's going to look into turn 4 now, but thinks better of it. Both Bentleys a little bit loose on the rear, and that's just allowing the Honda of Peaceful just to creep away ever so slightly. Ripper, meanwhile, 5.2 down the road. While these lot are too busy tripping over one another. Meanwhile, Tech Leader's got within 4/10 of Smoky Devil. So can Smoky Devil hang on to the position, be ahead of the Ferrari driver? That is the question. Now, two Bentley drivers have been too busy playing around with one another. They've lost touch to the Honda. Or both bouncing over the curb there. And I was saying to Dazzle to Matt just before we went live, there seemed to be a horrible bump through turn 9. And it seems to unsettle most cars. It seems to unsettle my car and his Audi. But either way, most of these guys seem to not have any issues with that bump. So Ripper crosses the line, and he's still in front of Peaceful. 5.5 is the gap. 9/10 now separating Peaceful and Overtaker. 7/10 to Matt. Gary currently on his own in 7th. 4.9. He's lapping similar to the guys in front, with Smokey in 8th. Tech Leader has dropped off the back of Smokey, and Paulo at the back, with Nexus still yet to pit, nor has Euro. So these two going for the long pit option, as Nexus still leading this race. I totally forgot about these guys for a minute.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
And we are halfway through, and Euro opts to pit at the halfway stage, and into the pit lane he comes. Back to Peaceful, Overtaker and Matt. And Matt's just losing touch to Overtaker at a minute, probably lapping similar to Peaceful, because Peaceful is now starting to get the hurry up from Overtaker, and he's gone a little bit wide on the turn 6 as they head towards 7, 8 and 8A now, the corkscrew. Peaceful braking a little bit late, compromising his line through the corkscrew, and that's just allowed Overtaker to just get right on the rear of Peaceful and now into the dirty air. And apparently once the Bentley gets into the dirty air, it is quite unstable. As Dad says in the chat, great racing. And indeed it is, as Overtaker once again is going to try up for the outside. He's going to try and do the undercut, but it has not worked. And Peaceful hangs on to that position. But again, once these two start too busy fighting one another, Matt will creep back onto the back of them. Peaceful's got to make that Honda the widest Honda ever. As wide as the Laguna Seca circuit. Gary, meanwhile, has jumped Euro in the pit. Smoky Devil's coming to the top of the hill, and I don't think we'll get Euro, so Euro will hang on to that position. Meanwhile, we'll go back onto Overtaker. who's right on the rear of the Honda of Peaceful, and Peaceful runs a little bit wide, hits the curb, and that's unsettled his Honda ever so slightly. Like I said, slightly banked corner here, and then Overtaker can run a little bit more and use the bank to help him curve round, as Nexus has now finally pitted. Where's this going to put him under all this? They've all been fighting quite a lot. Peaceful's rear end is really twitchy as Matt now comes back onto the scene. So all break for the corkscrew. If Nexus has been doing some decent lap times, he might be able to jump all of these guys. We'll keep an eye on his green marker. But Peaceful's still doing a fantastic job of defending from Overtaker and Matt. If he had hanged on there against Ripper, he might have been able to defend from all of them, and it would have been a much more interesting fight, as these Nexus has still not gone green, and Matt has got a great exit out of the final corner. Nexus has gone green, so he's not going to jump Gary. Gary, meanwhile, is slowly creeping onto this fight. And Matt's going to look to the outside of Overtaker this time. So Matt looking to try and make a move on Overtaker. So far, so good. Some great racing here with these boys at Laguna Seca. Gary now is only 3.9 off the back of Matt. So Gary slowly creeping onto this scrap, and Peaceful is the one holding them all up. And he's got a gap of 8.2 to Ripper, who's long gone into the distance. And once again, all these boys too busy tripping over one another, and Ripper's like, cheers lads, I will disappear into the distance and take another race win. But obviously he's still human, he can make mistakes, even though we don't often see it. But who is going to be on the podium at the minute? Matt's just creeping outside the podium position at the minute. Gary is slowly creeping onto the back of all three of them. Was 3.3, what's the gap now? 3.4, so he's just matching them in the middle sector. So it'd be nice to see Gary get involved. Meanwhile, Smokey has got ahead of Euro. Euro's had a moment, and Tech Leader is looking to the outside of Euro, inside of Euro, heading up towards the corkscrew. Is he going to get the job done in the other Ferrari? The Flying Potatoes Ferrari goes flying into the corkscrew, misses the corner by a mile, and Euro goes back through. Meanwhile, we go back to the scrap for second, third, and fourth, the final podium positions. Gary can see all three of them, and if they come together, he will be in the pound seat. He gained another 2/10 in the final sector there, as Overtaker is now possibly getting frustrated being behind the back of that Honda. He can't allow Ripper to score too many points on him, and the rear end of that Bentley just seems a bit twitchy, seems a bit loose, as they're both sitting in the dirty air of the Honda, and Mike's just got to keep it composed, keep it under control, and he'll be looking good for a podium here. Gary and the Porsche still looking to gain on the guys in front, as Euro and Tech Leader carry on their squabble for best Ferrari on the grid. And at the minute, Euro is that Ferrari leading. He's got a little bit of rear end damage by the looks of things, as Tech Leader runs a little bit wide, as does Euro. We'll come back to that scrap, but it's 6/10 once again separating the Honda, the Bentleys, and now 3.7. Gary's lost a little bit of time this lap. Overtaker flirted with the curb. He's got a little bit loose there, but Matt's not there to capitalize. So Overtaker possibly fighting the limits now, and he maybe try a late minute dive. He's going to go around the outside of Peaceful Explosion. He's on the cleaner line. Peaceful gives him the space and respect. Meanwhile, Euro's gone off, and Tech Leader's gone through the corkscrew. Where is Paulo? He's only now coming up to the corkscrew. So that's that fight over and done with. I feel Peaceful's pain right now. I had to keep Fury behind me in the GT4s. Now he's got Overtaker. Overtaker's got a great exit out of turn 2, but he's not going to get the inside for turn 3, and Peaceful just got to park the Honda on the apex and push the Bentley wide. There's Matt. He's in the other Bentley and now attacking Overtaker. So Overtaker's gone from the attacker to now the defender, and we're really going to go around the outside of there, Matt. Overtaker needs to be basically asleep to go around the outside of there. But this is the problem with Laguna Seca. There is chances to overtake, but you got to have the confidence and the speed to get past the car in front. Gary's getting closer once again, while these guys are all squabbling. The gap was 3.5 towards the sector time. Now 2.3. Gary 131's gaining on the cars in front as they're too busy squabbling. Meanwhile, Ripper cruising out in front, got it all under control. And he exits out of the hairpin. But it's still Peaceful in second, Overtaker in third. Matt is still outside of the podium positions right now, with Gary also now creeping onto it. He's got very deep in the final corner. Nexus in P6, P7 is Smoky Devil, P8 is Tech Leader, and he's right on the rear end of Smoky now, with Euro P9 and Paulo P10, but it is still Ripper leading the way with only 3 minutes left to go of this session. And now once again Matt is coming back at the Bentley of Overtaker. But we will go to this scrap between Tech Leader and Smoky Devil, as this is the closest fight on track. Smoky in the BMW seems to have the better straight line speed heading towards turn 1, and they head towards the hairpin. Tech Leader much more confident on the brakes there, gets right up to the rear wing of the BMW and goes into the rest of sector 1. I'm just keeping an eye on the split times between Overtaker, Peaceful and Matahimovic, as Tech Leader's had a great run there through turn 4. Half a second between Overtaker and Peaceful. We'll come to that fight in a minute as Tech Leader's looking to the outside of turn 6. Sorry, turn 5. And can't quite get the job done around the outside. So have to come back for another option. As Peaceful once again still defending from Overtaker. Half a second off. Overtaker really has to try something. Peaceful's just putting his car in all the right positions, and Overtaker can't find a way through. He's gone onto the curb, but he gets a poor exit and can't get the run he needs on the Honda, and the Honda just pulls away. Look at it, pull, as the Bentley struggles to stick with it. Overtaker needs to try something, because everything he is trying, Peaceful can predict and just put his car in the right place. Peaceful's gone a little bit deep there. Gave Overtaker a sniff of an opportunity, but couldn't quite get the job done. Smoky Devil, meanwhile, is still holding Tech Leader behind him, and Gary is slowly but surely creeping onto this scrap, but he just needs to keep the Porsche under control. Matt's back within 4/10 of Overtaker. And he says you have a small grid and not a lot happens. These guys are putting on a fantastic show, and you get to hear Matt in the background of Overtaker really starting to hassle the back of these two now, as they will be on one more lap after this lap. Ripper is currently exiting the corkscrew, while these guys are coming to the top of the corkscrew. Peaceful's gone deep, Peaceful's gone very deep. He's made a mistake. That is Overtaker through and Matt through. He has finally cracked under the pressure, and both Bentleys worked their way through. And now Gary 131's onto the scene. Meanwhile, Tech Leader is still pressurizing Smoky Devil. So Peaceful's gone from a P2 down to a P4, and now under pressure from Gary 131. There's Gary 131, and that Porsche has great traction, so keep an eye on if Gary 131 will find a way past Peaceful. Meanwhile, Ripper starts his final lap, leading this race once again. Matt's trying to find a way past on Overtaker, and I think he might struggle in one lap to get it done, as Gary has a big twitch on exit. And Tech Leader struggling to find a way past on Smokey. And Smokey's doing a fantastic job of just staying in front of the Ferrari. Nexus on is lows himself at the minute. Not really much to fight for at the minute. But once again, Ripper leading the way. Another win to his name. He's going to smash the records this season with most wins in a season. Missed the days when De Silva used to give him a hard time. Overtaker has been trying to take the fight to him, but been struggling to do so. Meanwhile, Matt and Overtaker still separated by 7/10, but it's Gary versus Peaceful. At the minute, it's the fight we're currently keeping a look on. Gary much better through the corkscrew, but he runs a little bit wide as Ripper comes out of the final corner. Round 13, the sprint race goes the way of Ripper. He wins the first race here at Laguna Seca. As they come towards the final corner, it is a Bentley 2-3. It is Overtaker who will finish in second place, with Matimovic finishing in third. Peaceful and Gary have come together. Where is Nexus? He's in the final corner. Gary gets going, so Gary will get P4. But we will see under the stewards what happened there. But Gary gets P4, Peaceful gets P5, Nexus will get P6. P7 just will be Smokey. Well, no, not just. He gets it quite comfortably, because Euro and Tech Leader have been going at it. Smokey will finish in 7th. Euro will finish in 8th. Tech Leader will finish in 9th. And Paulo bringing up the rear. Wow, what an interesting first sprint race that was. Peaceful missing out on the podium, not once but twice as well, as Gary and him make contact towards the end of that race. But it's Ripper who wins from Overtaker, from Matimovic, from Gary 131, Peaceful Explosion, Nexus, Smoky Devil, Euro, Tech Leader, and Paulo. That was the sprint race. Guys, make sure you tune in a few moments' time. We will be back for the feature race, and we will see what the rest of these guys can do for the 45-minute race. And we shall see you in a few moments' time.
Green light, go, go, go.
Yep. There are the numbers from the two quarterbacks then. Jordan Love gets the win on Thanksgiving Day. Jared Goff now falls to 0-3 on this day.
Table's done, Dan, if you're there.
Cheers.
Welcome. That was a good race, that. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, you didn't touch each other.
No, Mike bottled it. He's coming up the early. He's like, oh, he's coming up the early. He's like, oh, I'm just struggling a little bit, taking a few winners. Break early fit corkscrew, Mike. He's not going to pass you here. We know he's not. Oh, I've gone deep. Well, cheers, mate.
What an idiot.
I don't know what happened at the start. Did you see what happened at the start?
Yeah, so Paulo and Smokey hit one another.
Right.
And Paulo was in the middle of the track.
Yeah,
and you and Euro had nowhere to go. And because obviously Ripper and Mike were slightly behind you, they could see what was going on. Yeah, and they managed to do the switch.
Yeah. Shame, because I felt like that would have been my only race win at season, but no.
Mate, you've still got a chance at Nürburgring and fucking...
No, I'm not here for Nürburgring.
Sorry. Then Suzuka.
Yeah, I'm going to have to work hard for that. So with 13 points behind Ripper... Constructors is pretty much fucking done, to be fair. 184 points, me and Gary's got to gain on overtake Fury with 466 left. It's hard.
Yeah, but Fury's not been turning up.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not turned up for the last 2 races.
Yeah.
So
to 5th, so I've gone above Tech Leader, J and Nexus. Sweet, take that. 5 off of Fury.
And again, you'll go past him tonight.
Yeah, I'll be 4th tonight, I reckon. Right, let's go run to the toilet, mate. I'm back.
Nice.
So that is driver stats. Overtakes now 20 wins. Car stats. Audi's on 84 wins. And podium's the same. No success. Ripper, 1 pole, 3 wins. Weekly roundup, Ripper. 1 pole.
I'm still more successful than him anyway.
Yeah, 2 and 4. He can be tied with you tonight.
You can't?
Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah, you can. More likely will be.
Oh, I can't see it on there, fuck's sake.
I can't believe Peaceful bottled it. I'm sitting there going, he's going to fuck it in a minute, he's going to fuck it in a minute. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, and he did, mate, and it was like, you fucking idiot. Alright. Round 6 was last week, wasn't it?
I think he bottled under the pressure that he could possibly start, promoting his channel while he was in the commentary box. So yes.
This is week 7, yes?
Yes, this week 7.
Yeah. So Ripper got pole last week, so add that there because that gives him the extra point.
Where are you putting polls, by the way? Because I don't see.
On the quali tab.
Oh, fucking hell.
So on the quali tab, we input the boxes there. It's like week 7. I'll put in the position they've qualified in. What's the points now? If I didn't have his point added on, so it's 39. I will be out of the championship. Quali tabs the next weekly roundup.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Everybody will be out of the championship on Mike, Ripper and Overtaker tonight in this one. I'll mute my mic.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Simplay Motorsport. We are about to get underway for the qualifying session, but first things first, let's have a quick roundup of the championship standings. Luckily, for this time, I do not have a fancy graphic for this time, so I'm just going to have to read it off the Google Sheets. It is Ripper still leading the way. He's now got a 39-point gap over Overtaker in second, with Peaceful Explosion in third, with Gary 131 now into P4, Fury jumping down to P5, with Matimovic going from 9th all the way back to 6th in one round of his podium position. Tech leader is in the 7th, with Jay sitting in 8th. With no Jay tonight, he's more likely going to be out of the championship this evening, as will Tibbs, who's in 10th, with Nexus in between the pair of them in 9th place position. Euro is now mathematically out of the championship. He is in 11th place, with Smoky Devil also at the championship in 12th. Louis Allen 13th, with Paulo in 14th. Wolfinator in 15th, and then Plava in 16th place position. Regarding the constructors, I'll get my words out in a minute. Regarding the constructors, Teletubby Motorsport are still leading the way, with Killer Performance in second, with Jaeger Motorsport sitting in P3, with Flying Potatoes P4. P5 is Titan Euro Racing, and P6 is Simplay Racing. P7 is Hot Wheels Racing, and they're still mathematically in it, although they're more likely going to go out of it tonight. But in 8th place, JW Esports Racing are mathematically out of the championship. Regarding the manufacturers, there is only 2 manufacturers now going for it. It is Bentley against Audi. There's only 358 points separating them, so Bentley pretty much have got a comfortable gap over Audi, and there's one less Audi now on the grid in Pro-Am, so it should be relatively easy for Bentley to win now. Ferrari in 3rd, with Honda in 4th, McLaren 5th, 6th is Porsche, 7th is Lexus, 8th is Aston Martin, 9th is Jaguar, 10th is BMW, 11th is Mercedes, 12th is Lamborghini, 13th is Nissan, and Retia in last place position. We have only got one person in the commentary box with me. That is Matt Ahimovic, who's currently out on track at the minute doing his qualifying session. And Matt, that was an interesting night's worth of racing in the sprint category. We've now obviously, just to mention to the rest of the guys, we do now have Emplava on track as well, as he's just joined us back into the session. He did say he can make race 2. But Matt, you had to play a bit of a patient game. Obviously, the start of that race, there was a little bit of chaos into turn 1. But other than that, you got to walk away with a P3. It seemed like Ripper got quite lucky, but yeah, not a bad start to the night, a P3 for yourself.
No, good start to the night. Like you say, Ripper got a little lucky. That's possibly how his season's gone this year. He's not been caught up in as many incidents as others. That's racing. Yeah, no, I could be happy with P3. You know, I was saying off air before the stream started and things that I didn't feel comfortable tonight. Obviously, missed last week with being at work. Didn't really get the laps in with having to catch up with, you know, personal stuff and Simplay stuff and other bits at home. So not really got the testing I'd have liked for tonight. So didn't feel confident at all, but I'll take a P3.
Yeah, definitely so. The Bentley looking like it was just struggling a little bit in the dirty air of the Honda. Do you find that was what was struggling? Obviously, both you and Overtaker were stuck behind Peaceful for such a long time. Yeah. Do you think every time you got a little bit closer, the dirty air seemed to affect your car?
I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know. My car had 8 seconds, 9 seconds worth of damage that I didn't repair at the pit stop, so I don't know if it was the dirty air or if I was just struggling because of car performance through the damage that I didn't repair through the pit stop. So I'm unsure on that. You know, Mike seemed to do a cracking job with Overtaker, and every time Overtaker got really close to the back of Mike, I was able to have a look, but the damage just couldn't pull me along past both of them. Fair play to Mike, to be fair, he kept us both honest for quite a while and then just made the mistake at the end, which allowed us to get through.
Basically cracked under the pressure like I did in the GT4s. But obviously, Laguna Seca, a very tricky circuit to get right, and obviously you need to get the car set up and comfortable. How are you finding it here at Laguna Seca? Are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying driving the Bentley, or are you struggling tonight?
I'm struggling, but I don't feel it's the car or the track. I love Laguna. I think it's one of my favourite circuits on this calendar this season. I do feel it's me. I don't think I've got the laps under my belt going into today. Obviously, last time I raced was 2 weeks ago, and I haven't touched my wheel since then. Obviously, like I say, busy and at home, that's not allowed me to get the time to jump in and practice. So, yeah, I've not prepared ready for this week as well as I possibly should have done, but that's a me fault. Not the car. The car feels all right. Little twitch here and there. I'm trying to just dial that out, but I think it's more me tonight than anything else.
Obviously, going into race 2 now, the feature race, 45 minutes long. At the minute, you're currently sitting P3. What can you do, obviously, in this qualifying session, and what can you do for the feature race? Is there any particular plans, pitting early, going long? Obviously, probably ain't going to tell me my strategy in here, but what's the goal?
P3 again. I don't think I've got the top two's pace. P3 in quali, P3 in the race. I don't think I've got them top two guys' pace. They're just a step above everybody, especially today. You know, I'm quite pleased. I'm only within 6/10 of Taker and a couple of tenths of Ripper at the minute. That's quite happy. But yeah, P3 race and quali. I've got to claw them points back that I've missed at Donny and at Bathurst and at the other circuit that I missed beginning of the season, because I missed Nürburgring as well. So it's all about as many points as possible in race 2.
Well, nonetheless, Matt, congratulations on the
Cheers,
P3
buddy.
and best of luck in race 2.
Well done to Ripper and Overtaker as well.
Speaking of Overtaker in the Bentley, he is fastest at the minute. He's done a 22.8. I have been told he has done faster than that before, so we'll see how he gets on. But he is leading the way at the minute, with Ripper currently in 2nd, Matt is in 3rd, Euro is in 4th, Peaceful is in 5th, Tech Leader is in 6th, Nexus is 7th, and Plava during the session is in 8th place position. Smoky Devil in the pits, with Paulo in 10th and Gary131 now coming to the start-finish line. I believe this is a valid lap time. Towards the line he comes. And it puts him P8 ahead of Emplava. So Ripper now into the final corner. There's a poll going out at the minute, so guys, get your votes in on who you think is going to take pole position for this one. I will end the poll about 3 minutes to the end of the session. And Ripper now goes fastest. He finds a 10th and a bit over Overtaker. Where is Overtaker? Overtaker is into the final corner. Who just crossed the line? That was the number 55 of Matt, and Overtaker goes faster once again. He's done a 22.5, so good lap time from him. Paulo now coming to the line. This is going to be his first valid lap, and he goes P9. We should then have Euro on a valid lap time next coming to the line. He's currently P4, and no improvement for him. We then have the Jaguar of Nexus now on a hot lap. Hopefully this should get him a little bit higher up the order as we see a flood of cars exiting the pits. And that is the two Bentleys of Matiovic and Overtaker. And Nexus, no improvement, stays P7. We then have the Porsche of Gary 131 into the final sector. What can he do in the Porsche? Try and get a good exit, good traction, and then head towards turn 1. And here comes Gary 131 towards the line. Any improvement? Yes, he goes P3. What a lap time there from Gary. He splits Matt and Ripper, and Gary 131 out of nowhere in the Porsche goes top 3. Ripper crosses the line, gets in 24 thousandths of Overtaker. These two are close to each other. Ripper bails. He is going back to the pits, refueling and getting himself ready to go back out. I believe it's Peaceful Explosion next on a valid lap time, and he has got traffic of Paulo behind him. Half a second off is Gary 131. So close qualifying already between the top 4. Peaceful Explosion exiting the final corner. Paulo staying right out of the way of Peaceful Explosion. It'll be the 77 next on a valid lap time. Peaceful, a little bit of improvement, but doesn't go any higher than 6th. It is now Tech Leader who exits the final corner. Has had a bit of luck in a couple of races recently, and now heading towards the line. Can he improve? He goes P5. He gets also within 6/10 of Overtaker. It's quite a short lap, so it's easy for these guys to get themselves close to the leader. Gary 131 on another lap time here, and he looks relatively good at going into the final sector. Oh, he has a twitch, a moment on the curb. Can he keep it under control? Get it stopped in the final corner. And usually Gary seems to perform better in the second race. Here he comes towards the start-finish line. Any improvement again? He finds a bit more time and extends his gap on his teammate. Smoky Devil now next on a lap time. Oh, he's had a moment through the left-hander. And most of you still think Ripper is going to take pole position at the minute. It's not looking like that at the moment. Currently, there's only one vote, so guys, get your votes in on who you think is going to take pole. As Smokey goes a little bit wide, that's going to lose him some time. Is Paulo next on a lap time? Towards the line, Smoky Devil comes. He goes P10. So far, Emplava slowest of them all, as Paulo has gone round, and he's trying to get it spun round and out the way, and he does so. So he isn't going to get in the way of anybody. It is now Matimovic on a lap time. And what can he do in the Bentley? Currently sitting behind his teammate qualifying. I don't think he was expecting this at this stage. But Matimovic into the final corner he comes. Tries to get a good exit as he heads towards the start-finish line. And Matimovic currently P4. Any improvement? No, he stays P4. Gary's got his number. The number 14, I believe that is Overtaker, and no improvement on his lap time. Ripper is currently out and is starting his flying lap. Smoky Devil next on a flying lap. A reminder as well, to be the most successful around here, Ripper can match myself with I believe it's three poles and 4 wins. Sorry, 2 poles and 4 wins. So he can match me here this evening, but he needs to get to Overtaker first. Smoky Devil is in the final corner. And Smokey trying to get a good exit towards the start-finish line. He comes P10 at the minute, and he goes P9 ahead of Paulo. In the final sector, we have the Jaguar of Nexus heading towards the line. I think he's got Peaceful behind him as well. No improvement from him. Peaceful Explosion. He improves and goes P4 and knocks Matt further back. So far, four cars, I believe, within a tenth of one another. That is really close between those guys. And Tech Leader is one of those. Has he improved? No, he has not. Ripper, meanwhile, is on a lap. Oh, he's not. He's bailing. He's trying to get himself some clean air by the looks of things. But he's got Paulo coming up behind him, so he's got to get on with it. But Paulo is on an invalid lap time. And we go to, it was Gary 131 who was on a valid lap, but he's had a moment by the looks of things and has gone off. 29 is Emprava. He's had a moment and now he's gone off. So we now look to Smoky Devil, who's next on a valid lap time. Come on, guys, get your votes in on who you think is going to take pole position. It's 2 votes at the minute. 1 going to Overtaker, 1 going to Ripper. Smoky Devil going into the final sector. Smoky hanging it sideways in the Beamer, struggling with grip, struggling with downforce by the looks of things, and he's gone loose again in the final corner. That's not going to be the fastest way through the final corner, but here comes Smoky Devil towards the line. He does improve, but he doesn't get anywhere near a Nexus. Number 11, sorry, is Peaceful Explosion. Can he get a decent exit here? The Honda, the NSX heading towards the start-finish line. And any improvement from Mike? No, he stays in P4. So these guys are struggling to find that extra tenth to knock Gary off. As Tech Leader comes to the line, no improvement from him. Now we have Overtaker in the final corner. He's currently got a gap of 24 thousandths of a second over Ripper. Can he extend that? No, he cannot. Matt on a lap. Is he going to improve? No, he stays P5. So at this stage, everyone just struggling for improvement. And we then go back to the Porsche of Gary 131. Guys, if you haven't done so, then please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here at Simplay Motorsport. We are live once again on a Sunday night as we bring the action in Italy once again in Imola for the PS5 League. Make sure you tune in to that one. We've got quite a grid, and Fury looking to try and take another title and another championship. Gary, meanwhile, is coming to the final corner. He's got a loose Peaceful Explosion in his way. He's going to miss the apex, probably distracted by the car on the inside. Mike's done nothing wrong there. He's just had a moment, and Mike continues on to try and set a lap time. Gary, though, does he improve? He does not. Smoky Devil, meanwhile, is on a lap. He improves, but still not gone ahead of Nexus. Sorry, it was Emplava who was having a moment. As Peaceful is into the final corner. Looking like he's had a good corner there, but he's a little bit slow on exit. Towards start-finish line he comes. He might sneak in one more lap. He does, and no improvement. He will need that lap now. Smoky Devil is done. Overtaker is on a lap. He's gone a little bit deep. That is that gone. So has Ripper got the lap underneath him? It is Matt Himovic, though, in the final corner. He heads towards the start-finish line. Matt, does he improve on P5? He does not. Ripper, though, to the line. Does he take pole? He snatches pole away. 27 thousandths of a second. Overtaker is going to be fuming with him. Gary, meanwhile, on his last attempt, he's gone wide. That is it. Lap time invalidated. He is done. Emplava is on a lap time. And Nexus has gone wide and invalidated his lap time. So it's just down to Emplava and Peaceful Explosion, the Simplay Racing boys. And Emplava has gone round. He's had a moment and he is done for qualifying. It is now down to Peaceful Explosion. Can he jump Gary 131 and take third place away? But once again, Ripper stealing the pole position away from Overtaker by 24 thousandths of a second. Peaceful Explosion into the final corner now. Can he improve and go ahead of Gary 131? He seems to be on a decent lap. And that's why he's sticking with it. Towards the start-finish line he comes. As straight a line as he goes. And he stays P4. So it's Ripper from pole position. Overtaker in second. Third is Gary 131. Fourth is Peaceful. Fifth is Matimovic. Sixth is Tech Leader. Seventh is Euro. Eighth is Nexus. Ninth is Smoky Devil. 10th is Paulo. And 11th is Emplava. That is your grid order for the final race night in the feature race. 11 cars on the grid. And Ripper is just one step closer to matching the most successful driver around here at Laguna Seca. The Ripper, wow, impressive, says Peaceful's stepdad. That was a very impressive lap time. Only just pipping Overtaker to the line. as we will get a poll going on who you think is going to win race 2. A reminder is, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified so you do not miss anything here at Simplay Motorsport. And a reminder as well, all the GT4s will be returning back once again on a Monday night, as they will be heading to Suzuka for the evening race. And also we will be Tuesday will be the AMs driving on track. You will not be seeing a stream of them on track though, so you don't have to worry about them. Pro-Am will return on Wednesday night as well at Suzuka, as will the pros also. But a reminder as well, the PS5 League will be returning on Sunday night as we head to Imola for the second round of the season there. And so far, so good for the Ferrari as it leads the way in the PS5 Championship. But we do know what Fury can do. It is Sven who's leading the way from Porto. Fury in third. Wolfinator making his return. He is fourth. PN was fifth. Sixth was Cranky Duckhead. DJ Phil was 7th, 8th was Dean, 9th was Alpha, 10th was Smoky Devil, 11th is Hypertech, Daz is 12th, Tech Leader 13th, E-Makiz was 14th, 15th was Mutts Nuts, Lucas Roth still yet to start, and a few others as well. Dimasaki, Bernie, Ernie all retired as well. So keep an eye on the PS5 League later on this weekend. Right, guys, get your votes in on who you think is going to win the sprint race. There's a poll out, and it's gone 50-50 over the way of Ripper and Overtaker. And a quick run-through of the grid order. A reminder, it is Overtaker on pole position, with Overtaker starting in second place. That is your front row. Third and fourth will be Gary 131 and Peaceful Explosion on the second row. Row 3 will be Martinovic and Tech Leader in fifth and sixth. Row 4 will be Euro in P7 and Nexus in P8. Row 5 will be Smoky Devil and Paulo in the McLaren in P10. And bringing up the rear on row 6, or on his lows himself, is Emperava in the Honda. That is your feature race for Laguna Seca. And it's going to be an interesting final race here at Laguna. There's been all sorts of things going on in the background, with a fantastic GT4 race, and we're going to end Laguna Seca off with the pros. But who is going to be king of Laguna Seca? The home of the free and the land of the brave. I think it was the other way around. Land of the brave, home of the free? No, home of the free, the land of the brave. That's the one. There you go. But once again, it is Germany versus Great Britain. Bentley versus Audi. Ripper versus Overtaker. The number 1 versus the number 14. Who is going to come out on top? Gary 131 in the Porsche, right behind him, with the Honda of Peaceful in P4. Gary's on the wrong side, but he's opted obviously to go on the outside, so that's an interesting choice. As we will now get this final race underway here, as they all line up 2 by 2. We'll go on board with Tech Leader for the start of this race. The race initialized, and we are green here at Laguna Seca. And we got Matt and Tech Leader very close, and Matt and Tech Leader have come together, and Peaceful has come off a little bit worse of that one, and Matt once again getting involved in an instant. Gary 131's attacking Overtaker as Ripper gets the start he wanted and is leading into turn 3. Overtaker right behind him though, but he's going to allow him to stretch his legs ever so slightly. Gary's just fallen into place. Matt is 4th, Nexus is 5th, 6th is Peaceful Explosion, 7th is Emperava, 8th is Paulo, 9th is Euro, Tech Leader's 10th, and Smoky Devil at the back of the pack. Gary, meanwhile, is really hustling the back of Overtaker as they head up towards the left-hander. And while Overtaker's too busy fighting with the Porsche, the Audi's disappearing into the distance. So Gary 131's really hustling the back of Ripper here at Overtaker. And Overtaker's too busy looking into his mirrors and seeing that, Ripper's disappearing off. While this is all going off, Overtaker is holding Gary up, which is bringing Matt back into the fight. As Overtaker has a moment there, and Gary has a look to the inside. Overtaker once again makes a mistake. Matt thought about going for the move, but Gary 1-3-1 around the outside, trips over himself, and now Matt comes down the inside. So now the Jaeger boys are too busy racing each other. And Peaceful's sitting behind them thinking, well, in a minute, I'm going to have a go. Paulo has dropped back, as Emplava's not. He's sticking behind his teammate. Smoky Devil, Paulo, and Euro all going at it. But Matt has got ahead of Gary and is now going to try and hunt down Overtaker. But Gary's going to go back around the outside, and Matt misses his brakes, run wide, and through goes Peaceful. Will Emplava get through as well? Just about so. And then Emplava goes through ahead of Gary. Gary's trying to get a better exit there and try and go around the outside. Meanwhile, the fight between Euro and Tech Leader has all calmed down a little bit. But Gary's trying to get the undercut on Emplava. He goes down the inside. The rear end gets a little bit loose. And he can't get past the Honda. So while all this has been going on, Ripper has made a gap of 2.4 and pulled away from Overtaker. Matt is 1.5 behind Overtaker, and Peaceful is sitting in 7 tenths behind Matt. And Emplava now ahead of Gary 131, who started third and has dropped down to 6th. Nexus is 7th, but Smoky Devil's coming up behind. Smokey's gone wide. That's allowed Euro to go down the inside. Is Tech Leader close enough? No, he is not. You can see Tech Leader so patient on the throttle as he goes through turn 9, through turn 10, towards turn 11, and waiting for the perfect opportunity to find a way past on Smoky Devil. As Peaceful's gone ahead of Matt here, so Matt must have had a moment somewhere, and now Peaceful Explosion is back on the podium, but he's now gone and messed up in turn 1. Matt's come back down the inside, and through he goes. Gary's not close enough to cause any issues, and the rest of the pack will work their way through turn 1 also. So can Overtaker bring that gap of 2.4 down now? Or has Ripper got him covered? That is the question. Peaceful's now looking to attack Matt on the outside of turn 4. And can't quite get the job done there. Turn 5, sorry. As he now head up towards 6. Try and get a good exit to give him a good chance up the corkscrew, but that's not going to happen. Nexus is pulled away from Euro. Tech Leader is not close enough to Smokey. That's Peaceful Explosion looking to the rear of Matt. Matt's gone very deep into the corkscrew, missed his brakes, and Peaceful has learned his lesson of missing the brakes and gets right on the back wing of Matt once again. Ripper still leading the way though, with Overtaker in 2nd, and these two have just disappeared into the distance. With Matt in 3rd, Peaceful 4th. Gary has caught these two back up again. Nexus isn't a million miles away, with Euro in 7th, Smokey in 8th, and Tech Leader in 9th. Emplava and Paulo having their own moments, as looks like Tech Leader's had a decent exit, but that BMW just pulls away and off it goes. The Honda's also very good in a straight line, so I don't think Tech Leader's going to get near the BMW as they head towards turn 1, but Tech Leader brakes a lot later. One's a little bit wide, is able to keep it together. As Peaceful's had a moment, and that's allowed Gary to get right on the rear wing of him, and contact between Gary and Peaceful. Peaceful stays ahead and gets in front of Gary, so Matt has managed to just hang on to his position as Peaceful's too busy fighting against Matt's teammate Gary 131. Nexus is looking at the pair of them thinking, oh, I want a bit of the action as well, lads. So let's hope he's sitting there hoping that these two will come together. Euro's not a million miles away either, as once again Tech Leader seems to be a lot better in the middle sector than Smoky Devil, but that BMW just pulls away from the Ferrari. But meanwhile, Gary still right on the rear wing of Mike. Peaceful Explosion to the outside he goes. He's going to have the inside then for turn 11, and that is a great move there for Gary 131 around the outside of Peaceful Explosion to set him up for turn 11. He gets the job done, and Mike trying to get the better exit, but he can't quite do so, and Peaceful Explosion dropped back to 4th once again. But he's got a better straight line speed than the Porsche, and is going to look around the outside. The Honda much better in a straight line, And Gary holds his line to the inside. He holds his position. And Gary hanging in there to hold on to P4. What is going on further back? Smokey has caught Euro and he's dragged Tech Leader with him. And Palava's slowly creeping onto the back of these guys. But while Gary and Peaceful are too busy scrapping, Nexus has been catching them in the Jaguar. Peaceful's gone wide. And now Nexus sniffs an opportunity to pounce on the troublesome Honda, who's just slowly dropping back into the pack. And oh, he has a moment where he touches the curb and the rear end of the Jaguar just goes, you want me to do what? And he just complains and nearly loses the rear. Tech Leader has lost some time here. He's got Emplava closer to him at the minute. And Smokey in the BMW looking to hustle the back of the Ferrari of Euro, but can't quite get close enough at the minute. Peaceful has made a bit of a gap over Nexus and has actually gained on Gary ever so slightly. And Gary also just sticking to the back of Matt. Matt's just slowly creeping away as Overtaker has brought the gap down to 1.9. So his Ripper just being patient, taking his time, and like I said, I think it's a bit of a bit odd now just to see. I think there's only one Audi left, two Audis left here at Simplay. That has been Ripper and Daz Automatic. Most people who was in the Audi are not here anymore, and Overtaker just matching Ripper lap for lap at the minute. Gary's matching Matahimovic, and Peaceful is just behind Gary. Nexus is in 6th, Euro is in 7th, 8th is Smokey. Tech Leader's gone very wide, and Emplava's not there to capitalise on that one. And Paulo's at a moment, he's gone round, he's in the wall, he's trying to get going again and just struggling to do so. So Overtaker has brought the gap down ever so slightly more. 1.8 is the gap now between him and Ripper. When they went through Sector 2, the gap is now the same again. So he's matched him in the final sector. Gary's now starting to come back at Matt. With Peaceful in P5, he's going with Gary. So in a minute, these guys are going to be catching Matt. 1.7, 1.3. Nexus only 2.6 off the back of them, and Euro's just behind him as well with Smokey as well. So Nexus has not had the best lap here, and Euro and Smokey Devil have really hustled the back of the Jaguar now. It seems like Gary has got himself into a groove here. Oh, Euro having a moment there, trying to catch onto the bag of the Jaguar. And Smokey there running a little bit wide as well, just touching the gravel. And then head up towards turn 7. All these guys relatively spread out. This is your closest fight on track at the minute. As they now exit the corkscrew, and Smokey still can't get onto the back of Euro. He's a little bit loose there, but all of them seem to just not want to go to the apex of the corner. And Nexus now starting to just creep onto the back of Peaceful once again. Maybe Peaceful's had a moment in the final sector. Gary's catching Matt again, or matched him that lap. Peaceful's actually dropped off the back of Gary. Nexus 2 seconds, 1.1 for Euro and 9/10 for Smokey. Tech Leader's coming back as well, and Emplava into the final corner. Gap still maintained at 1.8 between Ripper and Overtaker at the minute. It's just a game of chess right now. Who blinks first? Who wants to come into the pits first? As Ripper looks quite content and comfortable in the lead. So does Overtaker in second. Gary's hunting his teammate. So it's going to be pride of who's going to finish where in the championship between the Jaeger boys. And Peaceful is 5th. Nexus, still not close enough to him. But Euro is coming back at Nexus. But Smokey is getting closer to him. So this is your closest fight. Smokey versus Euro. Smokey on the brakes, heading up towards the corkscrew. A little bit greedy on the curb by the looks of things there, and it's really unsettled him, but Euro's not had a good turn 9. And they just seem to balance each other out with mistakes there. Neither one of them able to capitalise on the other person's wrongdoing there. And Smokey gets closer. He tries to get on the power earlier, but the car really not liking it, and he struggles to do so. Ripper has lost 2/10 to Overtaker that last lap, and Smokey's looking down the inside of turn 1, but not quite close enough. You've got to get a little bit closer than that, Smokey, to get past Euro. And Smokey's touched too much curb, getting a little bit greedy, and it is bit him there, and he's lost all that time he's gained on Euro, and he's going to run wide as well. But luckily there's a little bit of grip out in that gravel section. Meanwhile, Ripper and Overtaker have got some lap traffic of Paulo, who's in the penultimate corner, turn 10. And there is Ripper, as the pit window is going to open in a few seconds' time. And there is the pit window. Who is coming in and who is going to be staying out? So Matt first to the pit lane, and he pits straight away. Gary is going to use this opportunity for some clean air. He stays out. Peaceful is in. As soon as the pit window opened, they were all those two in. Euro stays out. Nexus stays out. Euro goes in, and Smokey carries on through. Tech Leader is now coming towards the pit lane, and he comes straight into the pits. Meanwhile, Emprava now coming to the final sector, and he pits with his teammate, with Paulo still out on track. Overtaker, once again, he finds another 2/10 that lap and has brought the gap down. He's slowly creeping onto the back of Ripper, starting to put some pressure on him. Can Gary now use this one lap? Can he overcut Matt in the pits? That is the question. Matt is probably cursing right now because he's had to deal with my Alpine in the way, in the smallest car, and it's still not really helpful. Matt's been dropped, and Peaceful's been dropped, and Peaceful is a lot closer to Matt here. So Matt repaired damage, and Peaceful's right on the rear wing. Meanwhile, the gap between Ripper and Overtaker is now 1.2 as they cleared Paulo, and Paulo is opting to come into the pits. So that's the gap between your leaders. Emplava's been dropped ahead of Euro and Tech Leader, so they clearly both had damage on their cars. As Gary now opts to pit, he's choosing the overcut. Has it worked? Meanwhile, the gap between the top two is now a second. Overtaker has slowly been creeping onto the back of Ripper. Meanwhile, Peaceful has made all that time back up on Matt and is now 6/10 behind him. Now, Matt must have had damage from the start of the race then, because as Euro now comes out of the pits and Tech Leader, because Peaceful's jumped in. So will Gary 131 have an opportunity to jump Matt here? Normally the pit stops causes big gaps and lulls in the race, but at this rate it might cause a bit of drama here between Matt, Peaceful and Gary. But we shall see. As an Overtaker just bouncing all over the curve there. Gary has gone green. Matt is only now coming towards the final corner. This is going to be tight. Peaceful's there as well. So Gary is not off the limiter yet. He's off the limiter now. So Matt will have the speed, but Gary's got up to speed as well. He's going to be on the inside. But I think Matt would just hang on to that position, but only just, as Gary feeds in between him and Peaceful. But he is right on the rear wing of his teammate. But Peaceful, though, it seems like Peaceful and Gary seem to struggle with the first couple of laps with their fresh new tyres, sorting their pressures and temperatures out, while the Bentley can just get on with it straight away. But Gary now, what can he do about his own teammate? And Nexus has got ahead of Emplava. Smoky Devil has dropped behind Euro. So Emplava has actually gained massively out of all this because Smoky Devil had damage, Euro had damage, as did Tech Leader. So the only two left to pit now is your leaders. And they are coming up to a whole gaggle of cars in front of them, which consists of Peaceful, Gary, and Matt, and Paulo as well. So Paulo is going to have to get out of the way of not just the race leaders, but also the guys fighting for the podium positions. And he stays to one side. Beautifully done there, Paulo. Gary gets a little bit brave in the final corner and runs wide. Ripper, though, stays out. Overtaker stays out. That's going to be an interesting move as they are now about to catch this lapping pack. Smokey, meanwhile, is on the back of Euro, who's 12 behind Emplava. So Euro and Smokey, Tech Leader, all had major damage to their cars because they've lost out to Emplava massively here. And Emplava now up into 7th. So Matt and Gary, closest fight on track at the minute. 8/10 separating those two. I think Overtaker's had a moment because he's now dropped to 2.4. This is now the time to probably start pitting and get, as Ripper is now into a lap traffic. So this should be interesting to see how this all pans out. Quite a short lap round here in Laguna Seca. So it's quite easy to catch the pack back up. But Matt still hanging on to Gary 131. And Paulo gets right in the way of Ripper. He bounces over the curb. He tries to get right out of the way. And Overtaker, again, not close enough to capitalize. And will he now trip over Paulo? Luckily for Ripper, the guys who are in front of him have been lapping relatively quickly. He now bails to the pits, knowing that they will be on the next lap. But Overtaker opts to go for the overcut. An interesting choice here, a bold choice as well. So Overtaker now heading towards turn 1. What can he do about the guys in front? Will he catch him? Will he be able to use the fresh tyres while Ripper tries to get his Audi up to grips and temperature? But meanwhile, Gary 131 is back on the rear wing of his team. Oh, Matt's had a moment there through the right-hander. And Gary gets closer and closer. Porsche versus Bentley. Who's going to come out on top? Peaceful isn't close to them, so if anything does happen, he's not going to capitalize unless they hit each other like Gordon Shedden and Matt Neal. Gary's now flashing his lights at Matt. Matt's usually the one flashing lights, and instead it's Gary flashing him, saying, look, come on, lad, get out of the way. I'm faster. And right now, there's going to be loads of discussions in the teams right now. Both of these two in the same party. They've probably got Peaceful in there. And Peaceful was going, right, come on, boys, just hit each other, and then I can make the position onto the podium. But Gary really wants this podium. He's right on the rear wing of his teammate. But once again, these two evenly matched in a straight line. I think the Porsche slightly slower. But Gary looking to go around the outside of the Bentley. He's going to give it a good go. He's going to try into turn 2. But Matt's got him covered. Meanwhile, Overtaker is decided to stay out. He's not caught Peaceful yet. Ripper has come out of the pits and he's got quite a gap. And Gary's got ahead of Matt. I'm not sure how he's got ahead of him, but he has got ahead of him. Maybe Matt's had a moment somewhere. But Gary 131 has now got himself back onto the podium. And Ripper, meanwhile, is still leading the pit group. Oh, is Overtaker really trying to use his time well here and try and bring that gap down to Ripper. Will Matt now come back on to Gary? As Peaceful sitting in P4. We will end the poll there on who you think was going to win this one. Most of you reckon Overtaker. And he's trying a bold strategy here, staying out. Luckily for him, the boys in front of him are lapping relatively in good pace, so he's not really losing any time. If he gets too close to Peaceful, he'll start getting effect of the dirty air. Gary's gone very deep into turn 2. And he's gone very wide on the exit turn 2. And Matt goes, you know what, I'm going to follow you, mate. And Peaceful's like, okay, let's just calm down, lads. I'm not going to follow you. There's no grass here, so I'm not in a Honda. It's all just dirt and sand. And that gap's not really coming down for Peaceful. Overtaking meanwhile, still not caught onto the back of Peaceful. Meanwhile, Ripper is all on him, lows himself as he goes through turn 9 into turn 10. Not really much going on elsewhere as Tech Leader is getting close to the Smoky, but not really close enough to do anything with it. Matt's now losing touch to Gary. Peaceful is gaining on Matt, but again, not at a fast rate, so everyone's just kind of spread out at the minute. And this gives me a great opportunity to say, if you haven't done so, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified so you do not miss anything here at Simplay Motorsports. And also, while you're at it, head down into the description below where you can see the links to our fantastic sponsors of Design Manchester and Audio Sport. Christmas is coming, so get your stuff ready for Christmas. Get some lovely new gifts for the new year, as they will have some fantastic offers for you on their social media and on their websites as well. So head over to their links. We are now at the halfway stage of this race. It's been quite a long one so far, but most of these boys are starting to feel the fatigue of racing. We're still on board with Peaceful. And if you do want to be a part of Simplay Motorsport, then head over to the SimGrid and our Discord and get yourself a part of the team. You can get involved with all the chat that goes on in the Discord, and also you can see what events are happening on and off the seasons. And we have got the PS5 League that is running on Sunday night. We'll be heading to Imola for the next round of the season. Regarding the PS4 League, which will probably be our last season on the PS4, it'll be GT4s returning back once again on the Monday night, as we will be heading to Suzuka. Oh, Matt's had a moment in the penultimate corner. He's just kept it under control, and that's going to allow Peaceful to get really close to the back of him now. Overtaker has had a moment and lost massive amount of time. Is he going to up to the pit? He's going to have to now, yes, and I think he's going to lose out to Ripper. But Peaceful there sees a crack of pressure from Matt there, and is going to try and find a way past the Bentley. So yeah, the GT4s will return at Suzuka for the evening race, as will the AMs on Tuesday. Wednesday will be the Pro-Ams, and the Thursday will be the Pros as well. And right now, it is Peaceful Explosion trying to find a way past the Bentley of Matahimovic. Overtaker is in the pits. Ripper is now exiting the corkscrew. But this is your closest fight, Matt versus Peaceful. Peaceful missing his brakes and goes wide. Luckily, he's got a 22-second gap to Nexus. There goes Ripper. Overtaker has not gone green yet, and he now goes green, and Ripper is already into turn 1 heading towards turn 2. So whatever happened to Overtaker, he must have made a mistake and lost out quite a lot. Gary meanwhile has pulled massively on Matt. He's now got a 5.2 second gap over Matt. Peaceful also, like I said, having a moment. He's struggling there, and he's gone wide. He's got a 4.2 second gap. Nexus is neck end of 19 seconds behind. Emplava's though catching Nexus, so we'll see how those two get on. Euro is in 8th. Smoky Devil's gone very wide. There goes Tech Leader. And I was about to say, there's your next closest fight. It's Tech Leader versus Smoky, and that's resolved because he's gone wide. In I will catch Barabra, question mark. Well, you got to put your finger out, PN. Hopefully the Bentley will be quite good around Suzuka, maybe absorb those curbs that seem to be quite lethal. Overtaker, meanwhile, has lost a lot of time. He's 9.1 behind Gary, so whatever happened on that in-lap, he's lost massively to Ripper. He's now 16.1 behind him. And Gary's only 8.3 behind Overtaker. So whatever's happened to Overtaker, Gary is a little bit closer. Or Matt's had a moment through the corkscrew. He's just managed to keep that under control. And again, Mike's nowhere near him. So Matt got away with that one. And Brava, meanwhile, is now 1.4 behind Nexus. As you see the Jaguar running wide, he's also in the Bentley. The Bentley's such a boring and safe option, but that's just my opinion. But also, it seems to be the car that seems to suit a lot of people, and Overtaker and Matt seems to be doing the best of it. But it's the Audi that holds the number one, of Ripper still leading this race. I'm interested to see the gap between Gary and Overtaker, because Gary seems to be on a charge here. 6.7. It was 8.3. Gary's on a charge to Overtaker, so is Overtaker struggling here? Matt 6.5. And I think Peaceful is another 6 seconds behind him. 6.1. But it's Nexus versus Mprava for P6 and 7. The Hungarian versus the Latvian. And who is going to come out on top of this one? As Mprava, the Latvian, looking to try and make a move. As Nexus has touched the curb. That's unsettled the Jaguar. Has pushed him wide. He's gone wide again. And here comes Mprava. He looks to the outside. Not quite, and he's back on the inside. He's done the switchback, but they're coming up to the troublesome left-hander. Who's going to be the bravest on the brakes? They're both the same. They're going to make... Oh, how they didn't make contact then, I don't know. But, Nexus hangs in there, and Mprava has to find another way through, but that was a sketchy moment for the pair of them. Mprava just missing his brakes ever so slightly there, and loses time on the exit of the corkscrew. But man, oh man, that was close. Oh, and then Plava's had a moment. He's gone round, the rear end snapped, and he's dropped back. Is he going to get it going just before the rest of the guys turn up? There is Euro, and Plava's back on track, so Euro's not going to gain on that one. So Overtaker's now managed to get himself comfortable, as he's now pulled a gap of 7.5 over Gary. Matt is still a 7.7 behind, even though I think that gap is actually closer than that. Yeah, I think it's closer than that. They're going to come to the split now. Gary goes to the split now. Yeah, so Gary's lost a lot of time. I think he's had a moment somewhere, because now Matt's only 4.5 behind Gary. Matt and Peaceful, that is 5.7. Not really much going on at the minute. It's just... Tech Leader now trying to catch on to the back of Euro. They got Paulo separating them, and Smoky Devil's had an atrocious race. He's dropped back down to 10th, so he's not had the best nights of racing here. It's all just kind of spread out now. All 11 cars in their own kind of positions located around the circuit. No real close fights. Your closest fight is Tech Leader versus Euro. That's only 1.5 between those two. Oh, Gary has a moment. He's struggling here because it looks like Matt is coming back at him. Which Jaeger driver are we going to speak to? Is it going to be Gary or is it going to be Matt? That is the question. But Matt is now coming back at the Porsche. Peaceful not really throwing a threat to the Jaeger boys at this stage. As meanwhile, Euro and Tech Leader, that's a lot closer. 1.3. The gap's now 0.6. So he's cut that gap by half. Ferrari versus Ferrari. Once again, who's the better Ferrari driver? Euro versus Tech Leader. Tech Leader here trying to get a decent run through the first sector to try and gain on the other Ferrari driver of Euro. The number 75 versus the 77. As I say about that, Gary has lost more time. He's now 0.8 separating him and Matt. So is the rear of that Porsche starting to kick a little bit. And I thought this race was about to just dull out ever so slightly. But Tech Leader and Matt have decided to, you know what, let's give some entertainment here towards the latter end of this race. So Tech Leader not quite close enough just yet. Meanwhile, Matt has just got within range of Gary. Can Gary keep that Porsche under control? As it seems to want to kill him at this stage. There's a yellow flag in the final, in the corkscrew. That is Paulo. He's having a dreadful round here. He's got going again. He needs to make sure he does not get in the path of Overtaker. And Overtaker, no problems there. So, Matt and Gary have seemed to have spread out a bit more. It is now back to Tech Leader and Euro as they head towards turn 1. Through turn 1 they go. Towards turn 2 they come. Into Andretti hairpin. So Euro goes into the apex of the start of the corner, then goes for the second part of the apex. And Tech Leader has had a better run. He goes into turn 3 and he just gives Euro a slight tap. He runs wide and Euro goes behind Tech Leader. Paulo has to return back to the pits, possibly with damage to the rear end of his McLaren, and that is that fight done. Meanwhile, Gary 131 still 1 second over Matt. He seems to have calmed that Porsche down and extend the gap. It's now 1.2. So now the Bentley's back into the dirty air of the Porsche. Is the Bentley now starting to struggle? Because it seems to be in the dirty air. It seems to struggle a little bit. Just a reminder as well, your championship fights. Oh, Gary's had a very big moment. He's in the wall. Major damage, probably to the side of the Porsche. A big snap and is just not allowed it. Oh, poor Gary. He's ended up in the wall. Major damage to the side of the Porsche. And Matt now goes through. Peaceful's not a million miles away from Gary either, so he'll be able to gain some points on that. As Nexus extended the gap on Emplava. Tech Leader's pulling away from Euro. Smokey's on his own. And it's still Ripper leading the way with 12 minutes still yet to go. He goes through turn 2. While Overtaker now crosses the start-finish line. And he's got a 13.8 second gap to Ripper. So Matt and Gary in P3 and 4. Peaceful, can he catch the Porsche before the end? That is the question. Matt said he'd be happy with a P3. And at the minute he's in that P3 position. And Gary and Peaceful now 2 seconds separating those two. Meanwhile, Emperava has caught Nexus once again, abusing the corkscrew ever so slightly there, and that really unsettled his car. So can he make a last late minute charge onto Nexus towards the end of this race? Oh, and Emplava runs a little bit wide. He runs a little bit wide and he gets within 8 tenths now of Nexus. Meanwhile, Peaceful is within second and a half of Gary. So Gary's damage is really starting to affect him now. Overtaker is gaining on Ripper, but not obviously with 10.5 minutes left to go. Ripper needs to be either in the wall or got major damage to really do anything about it. Emplava 6 tenths now, separating him and Nexus. Gary looked a little bit squirrely through corkscrew, but he's managed to hold on to it. So the Simplay Racing boys now coming back for a late charge towards the end of this race. Peaceful 1.1 behind Gary. He needs to hook up every apex, and Honda will be very good in a straight line as Nexus has made a mistake up towards the corkscrew, and Emplava gets back in front of him. And although he's missed practice and not done a lot of testing this week, Emplava's into the top 6 here. And great stuff there from Emplava's. Nexus, oh, he has a twitch there. And the rear end not liking that. Meanwhile, Peaceful is on the rear end of Gary 131. Gets really close to the Porsche, but can't seem to find a way through. Matt's just disappeared into the distance. As I will now start a poll up for driver of the day. Peaceful now trying to find a way past on Gary. We can't seem to find a way through at the minute. He can't find a way through past the Porsche at the minute. As Tech Leader has actually now caught Nexus himself. So Nexus really seems to be struggling towards the end of this race. But we are watching the fight between the Porsche and the Honda. And look at the Honda's grunt now start to kick in, as there's not really much Gary can do in a straight line. Peaceful's going to the outside. Gary just defends the inside. Peaceful's got to be much braver on the brakes and try and squeeze him in. But Gary's gone wide. He'll try and cut back through and hold on to the inside for the next corner, but Peaceful has worked his way up into P4, and Gary drops behind Peaceful now. But can Gary come back at him now, as I'll put the poll up for driver of the day. Get your votes in on who you think is driver of the day. Oh, and Gary makes contact with Peaceful there. And also Tech Leader has gone ahead of Nexus, and Nexus's Jaguar has started to give in on him. And yeah, as Emplava's also dropped down the order. He's now 9th. So Emplava's made a mistake somewhere, as Ripper is working his way through the lap traffic. And Gary's got very deep in the corkscrew. He now loses out to Peaceful. Euro there running a little bit wide, looking to try and gain on Nexus here. And Plava was looking good in P6, but he's obviously had a moment somewhere and he's lost out massively. And I think Gary's attack has now come to an end. He's going to have to settle for P5 by the list of things. So Tech Leader inherits P6 after Plava's mistake. Euro, meanwhile, was right on the rear wing of Nexus. And Plava's not a million miles away from him either, but he misses his braking point into the corkscrew, and he's going to lose all of that time. Nexus runs wide. Where is Overtaker? He's in the penultimate corner. Ripper is on the final corner, so it was 13 seconds gap, and Overtaker really has been hunting him down, but he's going to run out of laps here, I think. Here comes the Ferrari grunt. Can it look down the inside of the Jaguar? Don't think he can. Guys, get your votes in on who you think it was driver of the day. Paulo is in the pits, and I think he's pretty much retired. I think he's done for this evening. But Euro here in the Ferrari, still looking to try and find a way past on the Jaguar of Nexus, but can't seem to find a way through. They're going to have to start worrying soon, because Overtaker is catching this pack relatively quickly. Ripper. Next car for him to lap will be Tech Leader. And Gary has got a healthy lead over Tech Leader. Peaceful is now extended away from him. Matt's on his own, and Overtaker is up into the corkscrew. So your only fight is Euro versus Nexus, and Emplava is getting involved in this one as well. So Euro, what can he do? Can he force the Jag driver into a mistake? The gap between a Ripper and Overtaker was 7.7 when they went through the split sector 3. Split sector 1 they come to now, and it's 7.2. So Overtaker is still coming for him, but he's going to run out of laps. Plus he's got this gaggle happening right in front of him. He's got to clear Emplava first. Maybe this is what's allowed Overtaker to catch Ripper. He's had to pass traffic, and Overtaker's now only caught that traffic. Nexus has had a moment. He was a little bit wide. That's going to allow the Ferrari of Euro to go to the outside. They're side by side. The 57 versus the 75. And Nexus hangs in there. And Plava gets right out of the way of Overtaker, and Overtaker doesn't lose any time. Probably a little bit of dirty air affected his car. Up to the split they go. And again, Overtaker matches Ripper that lap, or that sector. But now he needs to get past this gaggle. And it's Euro. He's lost a little bit of time to Nexus. Maybe he can use Overtaker to try and catch him out and pass him while Nexus is allowing a lapped car through. Who knows, as Euro's gone very wide and Overtaker's flashing him to say, look, come on lad, out the way, you're in my way, I know you're in a fight, but I'm trying to catch Ripper here. And he's in the middle of the road, and yeah, that's not really helped Overtaker whatsoever. He's now ran wide, and then Plava gets right on the rear of Euro. So now Euro sticks onto the back of Overtaker. He can use Overtaker now to try and find a way past Nexus, but he has to catch him napping. That's the thing. But Overtaker already pulling a healthy gap. He's lost like a 7/10 just from the sector 1. Because he was too busy trying to clear Euro. He's already caught Nexus. And Nexus coming up to the corkscrew, and Overtaker once again flashing the lights. Get out of my way. So head up towards the corkscrew, and Nexus gets it done and dusted before they even get to the corkscrew. Overtaker goes a little bit deep, as does Nexus, and Euro is right on the scene. But nothing he can do. Peaceful, meanwhile, is caught. Matt, 2.8 separating him and Matt. So has Matt had a moment somewhere? That's the question. And Plava now closing on the gap of Euro and Nexus. This might be a little squabble towards the end. And here comes Euro. Honda's not a million miles away either of Plava, so this might be a little bit of scrap towards the end of this race. Nexus defends the inside. We've probably got 2 more laps left. Gap between Matt and Peaceful, 2.2. So Peaceful slowly catching him, and 2 more laps. If he's lapping much faster than him, this could be an interesting fight towards the end. Jaguar versus Ferrari versus Honda. Great Britain versus Ferrari versus Italy, versus Japan. Honda at the minute, the one not able to capitalize at the minute, but anything can still happen. Nexus just holding on against the Ferrari of Euro. And like I said, the longer this fight goes on, the more and more Nexus will know exactly where that Ferrari is strong or weak. But here comes Plava much later on the brakes up towards the corkscrew. Gets right on the rear wing of the Ferrari. And could not seem to find a way through. Meanwhile, Ripper is in the final corner. He will now start his final lap here. And Matt looks like he's got Peaceful covered. But it is still this 3-way fight between Nexus, Euro, and Plava. Euro running very wide on exit there. Nexus having to defend the inside. Euro will use the slipstream. As he looks to the inside, Nexus seems to go wide, and Plava's on the attack in the Honda, on the Ferrari, trying to redeem himself after the mistake he has made and try and gain past the Ferrari. And this is just allowing Nexus to creep away. And Plava looks to the inside of turn 4. He's made contact with Euro and he's gone round. Big mistake there. Smokey's not close enough. Euro has to get going again. And that is that fight done. Meanwhile, Ripper is coming up to the corkscrew. Nothing else is really going on. Matt and Peaceful, that is close. It's 2.7. But nothing's really going to happen there as Plava and Euro are still battling it out. But it will be Ripper coming into the final sector once again. It's another race win. He now matches myself as most successful around Laguna Seca. 4 wins, 2 pole positions. And out the final corner comes Ripper. It is another win to his name and extends his championship gap over Overtaker in second. Ripper wins. Here comes Overtaker. in second place position. Best he could do tonight. He probably had the pace, but he ended up tripping over other drivers. Nexus is going to come home in 7th in the Jaguar. Now it's between Euro and Emplava, and Euro is going to hang on. Emplava gave the position back, but Euro will feel like he lost out to the Jaguar after that, so he'll finish in 8th. And 9th will be Emplava. Peaceful did bring the gap down to less than 2 seconds, but Matt is going to hang in there. Or Matt's just a little bit sketchy into the final corner, but Peaceful's ran wide. Matt is going to finish on the podium once again, and Mike will have to settle for P4. And P5 is going to go the way of Gary 131. Smoky Devil finishes in 10th. Gary 131 is going to finish 5th. And Tech Leader will be the last to finish this race, and that is Laguna Seca over and done with for this week. It is Ripper once again with the win, and Overtaker will finish in 2nd, Matt 3rd, Peaceful 4th, Gary 131 5th, Tech Leader 6th, 7th is Nexus, 8th is Euro, 9th is Emplava, 10th is Smoky Devil, and 11th is Paulo. My tyres were done, plus accident overfueled, says Nexus in the chat. Knowing Matt, and know Matt like I do, he's probably got the tables done and dusted.
Just doing them now, buddy.
He's just doing them now. So, obviously, Overtaker trying his absolute best there in that race to try and stop Ripper, but it just seems to me like he was too busy tripping over other drivers, and that allowed Ripper to disappear. Before we get on to the boys in the chat, a reminder that Sunday night is the return of the PS5 race league. We're at Imola for the next round of the season, and then the GT4s will return back once again at Suzuka. A week of Suzuka racing in the evening, as they'll be hitting the track on Monday night. AMS will be racing on Tuesday, but that won't be streamed. Wednesday will be the Pro-Ams. Hopefully we will have enough numbers to see that streamed. And also the pros will return and tackle the Japanese circuit on Thursday night as well.
Tables are done.
Tables are up to date just as I finish plugging all that. And before we get into that, like and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here at Simplay Motorsport, and head over to SimGrid if you want to get involved in the action. Regarding the tables, Ripper still leads. He's got a 44-point gap over Overtaker as they head to Suzuka. Then it's quite a hefty gap between him and Peaceful, as those three are the only ones still mathematically in the championship, although Peaceful is probably going to be knocked out next week, as he's only 2 points away from being out of the championship. Peaceful's in 3rd, with Gary in 4th. 5th is Matovic. 6th is Tech Leader. 7th was Nexus. 8th is Fury. 9th is Jay. 10th is Tibbs. 11th is Euro. Smokey is 12th. 13th is Louis Allen. 14th is Paulo. Empalava is 15th. Green Wolfinator 16th. And regarding your constructors, Teletoy Motorsport still lead ahead of Killer Performance Motorsport in 2nd. Jaeger Motorsport in P3. That's only 1 point separating those two. Flying Potatoes are in P4. Simplay Racing are P5. Titan Euro is in P6. And out of the championship now is Hot Wheels Racing and JWB Esports Racing. Manufacturers still going away of Bentley, Audi, Ferrari, Honda, McLaren, Porsche, Lexus, Aston Martin, Jaguar, BMW, Mercedes, Lamborghini, Nissan, and Retia. We only have the 2nd and 3rd place men in the chat with us. Ripper doesn't come in for a chat, but we'll talk to these boys, and we'll start with Matt. And first things first, is it now gloves off between you and Gary for who's number 1 at Jaeger?
No, I let him through and he bottled it, you know. Bit of a helmet tonight. He had good pace and I let him through because I didn't want to hold him knowing overtakes lads pit. And he bottled it in the wall a couple of times. So I got back past quite easy. But no, I miss Nürburgring, so my fight's not Gary. Yeah, you know, help him try and catch Mike in the championship.
Obviously, it did look like the Porsche did have some pace on a one lap, but obviously the Bentley seemed a little bit more stable overall. Did you find with that, like, was Gary seemed to be struggling with his car, with like the grip and everything, or did he just, you know, just fall off the edge?
it just looked like he fell off the edge because he had great pace. His car looked absolutely planted compared to my Bentley. And then, you got 10, 11 seconds up the road, and he's like, oh, you know how Gary is. And you think, it's nothing for Gary. And then all of a sudden, them oohs become bigger oohs, and he's bouncing off the walls. And I think the car just died on him, and it just gave up on him because it went from looking quick and stable and drivable to being a handful for him. So, yeah, gutted for him not to get a podium. Obviously, we know he struggles on ACC compared to Project Cars 2, so it would have been nice for him to get a podium on ACC. But, good points for the team.
Good points for the team indeed. There's still opportunities for him to get a podium still yet. Obviously, regarding constructors, Teletoon Motorsport have got quite a gap over the rest of you. Yeah. So it looks like it's just trying to beat Ripper on his own in P2. You head to Suzuka next. Yeah. Actually, I forgot to mention, in the pit stop, you seem to have a longer pit stop than Peaceful and Gary. No. Did you have to repair the damage, or did you...
No, I didn't repair any damage. Mike comes steaming in, expected a stop-go penalty, didn't get one. But so because of that, I was just struggling with the damage. Gary that extra lap Gary went probably meant that he was a lot closer to me than what it was when I pitted.
Yeah, well, in that case, going to Suzuka next, evening race, and I think we've got it dry as well. So what do you think the Bentley can do at Suzuka?
I don't know, because me and Overtake seem to have very different opinions. He seemed to like this car around here, and I thought it was awful. But like I said earlier, that might have just been me. I'm not a lover of the Suzuka track. Hopefully the Bentley will be good. Hopefully we can, get some good racing and put on a good show and, get some good points for the team. Like you say, Teletubby Motorsport's going to be difficult to catch, but Fiori's missed the same amount of races I've missed now, so it's level playing field. Yeah, we'll see what happens at Suzuka. So it's going to be tricky, but look, if I get 2 more third places, I think third place is the best I can get this season. Obviously, I don't think I'll finish there in the championship, missing Nürburgring. But Ripper and Overtake has just done too good a job this year, so there's no denying the job they've done. And hats off to them two for doing their job. Ripper's been fantastic, as we saw last season, and Overtake has jumped in the Bentley and really sort of stepped up from last season. So fair play to them guys, and yeah, they deserve to be 1 and 2 because they're just a cut above the rest this year.
Well, nonetheless, Matt, congratulations on the 2 third places this evening.
Cheers, boys, and well done to Overtaker and Ripper once again.
As we go over to Overtaker, and I feel like Overtaker, this was a night of missed opportunities.
Yeah, you summed up exactly what I wanted to say. Because me and Ripper did some testing together, and I think in clear air, I had a couple of tens on him on this track, but great job to him. Well done, deserved. So.
Obviously, the first disappointment was obviously the sprint race. It seemed like you seemed to get caught up in something in turn 1, and he managed to negotiate all the issues and get through. Then into qualifying, he pipped you just at the end. I think it was something like 26 thousandths in the end. Well, you had 24 thousandths in just before. So it just seemed like nothing was going your way tonight. Talk about race 1. It just seemed like you just tripped over. Was it just tripping over people into turn 1, or just what was it that wasn't able to follow Ripper through?
Yeah, actually, I misjudged my strategy even before the race started, because I thought I was alongside Peaceful on the outside into the race starts. So I positioned myself on the right side, and then Peaceful went side to side with Gary, which let Ripper side by side on me on the left side. So he had the inside.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I got caught up, because the right side of the grid bunched up together and the left side managed to get away with it. So if it was me on the left and him on the right, then probably he was getting into trouble, but I got into trouble instead, got tapped around, got damaged, and had to fight a lot for P2 at the end.
And obviously the feature race as well, Gary was giving you a bit of a hard time right at the start of the race. Again, was that just slow pressures, or he just managed to get the jump on you at the beginning?
Yeah, exactly. Ripper was very slow in caution into formation lap, and I didn't have the pressures at the start, so I had a messy first lap. And then I was catching Ripper 10 by 10 every lap. And when he got in the pits, I knew the overcut is strong here because I've done some testing and I was doing good lap times. But then I don't know if you saw it on the stream. That actually never happened to me. My car just lost drive into the between the first and second corner. I was pressing accelerating and nothing happened. So I had to stop down, restart the engine and go again.
Oh.
So yeah, I knew that I lost, I don't know, 15 and 20 seconds by then. So when I was out of the pit, Reaper was 25 seconds ahead of me. So I knew it was over by then.
I mean, obviously, when you came out of the pits, the pace did show what you did have, because when you came out of the pits, the gap was 13 seconds, and by the end of it, including trying to clear Euro and Nexus having their little dogfight, you managed to bring the gap down to 6 seconds. So it did show that the Bentley had more pace over the Ferrari here tonight. We go obviously to Suzuka for the next race, an evening race, and you'll be happy to know that it sounds like it's going to be dry. What can you do there? Very tight, twisty circuit, not a lot of straights. Probably a track that will suit the Audi possibly more than the Bentley, but what's your opinion on going to Suzuka?
I love the track. I think it's one of the best ever made, but on this game I haven't actually driven it, so I'm not sure how it is, because I think it's a little bit different than like we were racing on Project Cars 2. This one is
Very
the
different.
yeah, the original layout, so I don't know how it's gonna be. I don't know how the Bentley is gonna be. I know the Tripper is gonna be fast. I know the Audi is gonna be fast like everywhere else. So yeah, tonight feels like a missed opportunity, like you said, but on we go.
On we go indeed. But nonetheless, mate, congratulations on the two P2 places.
Yep, thank you. And congrats to Peaceful as well, to race one. I have to say something because he made me nervous for P2.
He did a great job of defending. So, yeah, congratulations, mate, on tonight's racing. Speaking of Peaceful, he has got the Drivers of the Day vote, so he will take that one. I'm going to give it to Ripper, actually, because he's been quite phenomenal tonight. Even though he wasn't the fastest on one lap and overall pace, he did manage to keep Overtaker behind him. But a big shout out to Overtaker as well, just for the raw pace that he had this evening at Laguna Seca. But it's Peaceful who is your Driver of the Day. And that is it for the pros. We shall see you in a week's time, where we will be in Suzuka for the evening race, round 8 of the season. But all still going on here at Simplay Motorsport. Sunday night, the PS5 League will return in Imola, and the GT4s will return back on Monday as well, as they will take to Suzuka first, followed by the AMs, followed by the Pro-Ams, and then we will be back with the pros, with Overtaker going to Suzuka, one of his all-time favourites. Will he take the fight to Ripper? That is the question. And can Ripper keep the fight going? Who is going to even get near these boys, as these two seem to be long into the distance? But nonetheless, this has been Simplay Motorsport. I've been Dan Davis, and we shall see you all in a few nights' time in Imola. Good night. Whew.